Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on The Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Mom, where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy and Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
She was the first African-American graduate from the University of Georgia, paving the way for countless students. Tonight, we're hearing from the trailblazer herself as the university honors her in a big way. Plus, the CDC announcing that the spread of the coronavirus in the U.S. appears to be inevitable. But what does that mean for us here in Georgia? We're giving you the facts on this deadly illness.
11Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
First tonight, developing right now, East Point police are trying to figure out what happened leading up to a deadly triple shooting near the footbridge by Main Street. It happened late this afternoon. Chanu Hur spoke with police and joins us now live with the latest on this investigation. Chanu?
Yeah, police just told us a second teen has died from the shooting. He died at the hospital. Now, investigators do believe both of the victims who died in the shooting are 17 years old and that the victims and the shooter all knew each other. Now, this is video from the chopper earlier. It's just blocks away from where East Point Police is and where the police station is. Just before 4:30 this afternoon, police say a large fight broke out moments before the shooting near the footbridge on Main Street. This is right by the MARTA station. After the gunfire, police say everyone scattered.
We are in contact with MARTA, and they have advised that they do have some surveillance that we're going to be taking a look at. There are also surveillance in the area that we're going to be taking a look at as well.
Now, police also tell me they are interviewing multiple witnesses right now. One other male victim was shot in this case, and he checked himself into Grady Hospital. Police now believe that all of the victims here may be teenagers.
Chanu, thank you. It is not a matter of if, but when the coronavirus will spread here in the United States, and it could have a serious impact on our everyday lives. That was the message today from the CDC. It's raising concerns now because the virus has moved outside of China. The head of the CDC Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases says so far its measures to contain the outbreak have worked. That includes restricting travel from China and isolating cases within the United States. According to the CDC, there are only 14 confirmed cases in the U.S. right now, and that number has been holding steady for several days. But with the virus spreading in countries outside of Asia, like Iran and Italy, the CDC says it's becoming more concerned. As of today, more than 300 cases have been reported in Italy, nearly 100 in Iran. And the CDC says when you see that kind of transmission in other countries, it's inevitable that it will make its way here to the U.S. And because there's no vaccine and no medication to treat the virus, it means we may have to change the way we live our lives.
For schools, options include dividing students into smaller groups, or in a severe pandemic, closing schools and using internet-based teleschooling to continue education. For adults, businesses can replace in-person meetings with video or telephone conferences and increase teleworking options. On a larger scale, communities and cities may need to modify, postpone, or cancel mass gatherings.
The CDC talked about social distancing, which means coming up with plans to live your life from home. If the virus spreads here, people could be traveling less, working from home, or skipping things like church. We'll, of course, have more on what Georgia's hospitals are doing to prepare for cases that might be here coming up tonight at 9. For the latest on the coronavirus, including symptoms and how long it takes for the virus to run its course, you can look for the article right now in the As Seen on TV section of the 11Alive app.
We're getting a little bit of a break in our soggy pattern. I'm meteorologist Samantha Moore, one of your 11Alive storm trackers, and the rain has moved off to our south, and it's just light and showery along a frontal boundary. We do have more rain to come, but again, it's going to be showery in nature and moving through at a pretty good pace. So we're not going to see as much accumulation as we have with our last few rainfall episodes, but we will see some colder air moving in for the middle of the week and then towards the end of the week. So with a little bit of moisture and a lot of cold air, we'll likely see a few flakes flying across North Georgia Wednesday night and then again Friday night into Saturday morning. So here's what we're thinking in terms of a forecast track. We'll see the clouds around for tomorrow, but a dry commute in the morning, and then a few showers moving in during the afternoon and evening, including some of those snow showers here across far North Georgia. This is around 10:30 in the evening tomorrow, so we're not expecting any significant accumulations Wednesday night. Then we have another shot Friday night into Saturday, and that's when we may see a little bit more widespread wintry precip across North Georgia, so Fannin County, parts of Gilmer County, Towns County, Union County, Rabun County possibly. And the Euro is showing it moving on in. This is the first blast that comes in Wednesday night into Thursday, and then it's out of here. We dry it out, and the next one moves in Friday night into Saturday morning. So we may end up with some snow totals on the highest elevation here, maybe 1 inch to 2 inches by the time we get to Saturday at lunchtime. So coming up, we'll talk about that cold air, how cold it's going to get here in the Atlanta metro area, and the timing of these showers, exactly when you can expect the return of the rain.
All right, Sam, thank you. A DJ accused of molesting a teenager will not get out on bond. That story tops our speed feed tonight. Malcolm Rhodes is facing 8 charges, including sexual battery against a teenage boy. Rhodes is well known in Coweta and Henry counties, DJing on field trips, pool parties, and even hosting a nighttime glow party for kids under 16. A judge denied him bond today. He will be back in court in March. A Fulton County man is convicted of rape after investigators say he convinced his victim he was gay to gain her trust before assaulting her. The district attorney says in 2015, Torrance Callaghan offered to give the victim a ride home after befriending her on a MARTA train and pretending to be gay so she'd think the relationship was platonic. He then ended up raping her. Callaghan is still awaiting sentencing. Georgia Power warning customers of a new scam. Someone's calling people claiming their power will be shut off if they don't pay their bills with gift cards. If you check your caller ID, it looks like the call is coming from Georgia Power's customer service line. But Dunwoody police say don't fall for it. It's all a scam.
They're representing themselves as the power company, the gas company, sometimes the police department. Again, but anytime anybody asks you to send them a gift card number, whether it be an iTunes gift card, Visa gift card, Green Dot, big red flag, something's probably not right.
Police say this can happen with different utility companies, not just Georgia Power, so make sure you call your provider if something seems off. The push to fight human trafficking in Georgia is growing with 2 proposed pieces of legislation. This has been an issue of emphasis for Georgia's First Lady, as most of the victims are children. Advocacy groups say the average age for a human trafficking victim in Georgia is 14 years old. Our Elwin Lopez walks us through what these newly proposed measures would do.
If somebody is a trafficker, if somebody wants to exploit the vulnerable, one of the places they could go would be a truck stop to see those who are being trafficked, to try to lure and pick up other girls and to take them to another place where they aren't as familiar, where they're even more vulnerable.
In Georgia, 7,200 men purchase sex from a minor every single month. Atlanta has been identified as one of the cities with the highest rate of child sex trafficking. House Bill 823 would ban anyone convicted of human trafficking from getting a commercial driver's license in Georgia.
This bill would protect the vulnerable from being trafficked by these exploiters in the future.
Human trafficking is an issue Governor Brian Kemp and the First Lady have pushed to combat. Just last month, the Kemps and the president's daughter, Ivanka Trump, met with trafficking survivors.
Very often, when people are trafficked, they come out of that trafficking situation with criminal arrests and convictions. Everything from prostitution to drugs to shoplifting. And those types of crimes can keep a survivor from getting a job. They can keep a survivor from getting housing assistance, from getting an education.
Senate Bill 435 would essentially nullify trafficking survivors' criminal convictions, something Kamala Solfagari says would move Georgia in the right direction by preventing trafficking victims from further exploitation.
A judge will hear a case tomorrow challenging the privacy of Georgia's new voting machines. 33,000 of them have been delivered ahead of early voting that's set to begin next week for Georgia's presidential primary. 11Alive's Doug Richards explained what's at stake in this new lawsuit.
I have nothing to hide.
Pat West was able to laugh at the visibility of the voting machine that he'd used in a special election last month in his rural South Georgia community of Pinehurst, as did his wife, Carol.
And, you know, somebody behind you could actually see how you were voting. Not that it really mattered to me, but, you know, the privacy was not quite as much as before to me.
Other voters navigating the state's new voting machines told us they could feel the eyes of poll workers or other voters behind them as they cast their ballots on the new bright, upright touchscreens. A lawsuit says the machines plainly violate Sumter County citizens' rights to absolute ballot secrecy, and urges the county to use hand-marked paper ballots instead.
Georgia law says very clearly is that absolute secrecy has to be guaranteed, and they're not guaranteeing it. In fact, they're flaunting it with these gigantic screens.
The Georgia Secretary of State has told county election workers to configure the voting machines toward walls in the upcoming presidential primary, so the screens can't be seen from the interior of the room. A spokeswoman for Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger called the lawsuit a silly and desperate attempt to interfere with Georgia elections. Yet the concern about the new machines is real, says State Senator Elena Parent.
The screens are very large, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, except that you can apparently see how everyone's voting across the room. So absolutely, we've got to take action to ensure the privacy while individuals are voting.
The suit was filed in Sumter County because folks there are voting right now in a special election runoff. But the rest of the state gets its first crack at the state's new voting machine system on Monday when early voting begins in Georgia's presidential primary. A woman reported missing while under a wanted caretaker supervision in Gwinnett County has now been found. 68-year-old Linda Williams was reported missing by her daughter, who said she had not spoken to her mother since December and not seen her since October. Today, police told us they were able to track Williams down this afternoon at an Adult Protective Services in Gwinnett County, thanks to tips that came in. She appears to be okay. Police say Keisha Mitchell was supposed to be taking care of Williams. Mitchell is wanted in Gwinnett County and has ties to another missing woman, Linda Kimball, who was also supposed to be in her care. If you have any idea where either of these women may be, you're asked to please contact police. New software designed to keep unapproved visitors like registered sex offenders out of our schools. The local district implementing the new procedure next. And don't forget, we are streaming right now on the 11Alive YouTube channel. You can subscribe and get in on the conversation in the community section. There's more 11Alive news in prime time ahead.
To 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Blog, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Blog on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little Five Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe with it. It's a good time. We don't worry about the hate. We just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography.
A new security system is online now at all Douglas County schools with the goal of keeping unapproved visitors from ever coming through the doors. The system checks each visitor's background in a matter of seconds. Joe Hinkie got a chance to check it all out in person today.
This allows me to have the assurance that the people traveling in my building belong here to support children. And so when I see the badge with their display, it means they've already been cleared to travel.
Factory Shoals Elementary Principal Kenya Parks says office staff already needed to buzz in each visitor. Now they also have each person scan their ID at a computer in the office, check the reason for and destination of their visit, have their picture taken, and if approved, a visitor badge is printed. If not, they're held in the office.
There will be a notification on the screen that says, please see an office attendant. And so the office attendant will come over, and then an administrator will be summoned, and then there will be a private conversation.
The system notifies both school officials and, if selected, local law enforcement if someone is an unapproved guest or sex offender. It gives school staff more information right away and allows them to efficiently clear long lines of visitors.
This is a quicker way. Once they get the badge, we know that we're good to go.
The Douglas County School District used a federal grant to purchase the technology from a company called Raptor for all 35 schools at a cost of more than $150,000. It is the latest security change in Douglas County. In 2019, about a year after the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, Governor Kemp signed legislation giving each Georgia school district $30,000 per school to spend on safety. In addition to the new check-in system, Douglas County spent its state funding to upgrade lighting, cameras, and bought a system called Centegix Crisis. With Centegix, each employee wears a badge, and a certain number of taps on the badge's button signals various emergency situations, from a child needing medical help to a violent situation.
This is a really comforting level of security for our teachers and staff, so that if there's ever a crisis, they have the ability to be able to alert us right away.
School leaders in the sheriff's office are then notified, and an app they have access to shows a map of the school and exact location of the incident.
Douglas County Schools joins a growing list of area school districts using the Raptor system to run quick background checks on visitors. Forsyth Schools started using the system last fall, and Fulton and Gwinnett County used portions of the $30,000 they received to purchase the same system.
Well, we're getting a little break between systems tonight. What a great day it was. Temperatures so mild. We were running some 20 degrees above where we were at this time yesterday, a little earlier this afternoon. It is still 60 degrees here in the town of Noonan. We have light winds, clear skies being reported too. But we did have enough high clouds here across North Georgia for a few of our storm trackers to track some beautiful sunset shots. This one from Jessica showing the oranges and the golden hues as the sun went down. Carolyn Hill and Calhoun capturing this kind of rainbow sherbet picture here with the pinks and the purples, and the high clouds made for a gorgeous shot in Bowden, and this is from our storm tracker Nicolette there this evening. So a really nice pattern, but showers will be returning as we head into tomorrow. So let's talk about the timing of all that. So we're looking at 69 for our high today, almost made it to 70. It was so nice and warm. That's 10 degrees above average. Our low was also almost 10 degrees above average, and we picked up just 3/100ths of an inch of rain right after midnight last night. So we now have a surplus of just under 10 1/4 inches. So we're definitely seeing a very wet month. In fact, it's the second wettest February on record. We have had some over 10 inches here, over 10 1/3 inches. And it would take over 2 inches to catch up to the wettest, and that was back in 1961 when we had 12 3/4 inches in just 1 month. Still have a few days to go. We will see more rain. I just don't think we're going to see quite 2 inches to get us up to that first place. But it has been a wet month with more showers on the way, and you can see them here out to our west and also at in our south, to our south. So what we're going to see the next few days is a couple of blasts of cold air that are going to be ushered in by some fast-moving systems. So the next 12 hours, we'll see the clouds continue to be pretty persistent throughout the overnight hours, and then we'll have some peaks of sunshine tomorrow, and then the clouds roll in again, and we have a slight chance, a 20 to 30% chance of rain during the afternoon and evening hours. So we get a little break in the rain tonight, as we had for today. We'll have a few showers, kind of scattered in variety tomorrow afternoon and evening, and then possibly a wintry mix tomorrow night into Thursday morning in parts of North Georgia. So let's talk about all that timing. Clouds around tonight, kind of cloudy and gray out there. As you head out the door tomorrow morning, there'll be some overcast skies across northwest Georgia, but some folks are really going to see a nice sunrise tomorrow. And then we'll see some of those showers working their way around that area of low pressure on our Wednesday, some wraparound moisture. So not a lot of moisture to work with, but as that cold air filters in, we'll see some flakes flying most likely across North Georgia. So right now the GFS, the American model, showing that we could have snow maybe even as far down as Cherokee County, but we're not expecting much because it's going to be moving so quickly. It won't have much time to accumulate, and then we dry it out on Thursday. Friday we get our second little push of moisture and cold air, and we may see a few more flakes and then some chilly airs settling in here for our weekend. So as far as the Euro, how it looks, yeah, it shows Fannin, Gilmer, Union, Towns County, perhaps seeing a little bit of snow as we head into Thursday morning, and then again Friday into Saturday. So maybe 1 inch to 2 inches at the highest elevations in North Georgia. So a 30% chance of rain during tomorrow afternoon and evening, mainly scattered showers, some snow showers up in the high country possible overnight. Heading into Thursday, it is cold. We're only in the 40s on Thursday. Gosh, that's going to be about 25 degrees colder than we were at times today, and it'll be dry. Rain chances return Friday night into early Saturday morning, but most of the weekend's going to be dry. Little chilly start, but a very nice finish on Sunday with a high getting into the low 60s.
Sam, thank you. As we continue to celebrate Black History Month, we bring you the story of a woman who made history, becoming the first African American to graduate from the University of Georgia. Mary Frances Early paved the way for countless African-American students here in Georgia, myself included. And today, the university honored her in a big way by naming the College of Education after her. 11Alive's Latasha Gibbons was in the classic city of Athens today for that ceremony.
Well, today was a wonderful ceremony that drew hundreds from around the state, including Governor Kemp and Georgia's First Lady. The Board of Regents approved the name change back in October, but today, Mary Frances Early got to see her legacy sealed in Georgia history. Mary Frances Early is seeing for the first time a college that now bears her name.
It's mind-boggling. Nothing that I could ever have imagined.
Early was the first African-American to graduate from the University of Georgia back in 1962, earning a master's degree in music education. She then received a specialist in education degree in 1967. Not only was she a trailblazer at UGA, but she went on to have a major impact on Georgia schools. She was the first African-American president of the Georgia Music Educators Association in 1981 and served as music director for the entire Atlanta public school system. She also taught at Morehouse College and Spelman College and served as the chair of the music department at Clark Atlanta University.
When I walked in down here, it just, I couldn't help but shed tears. Oh, wow, that was, yeah.
With her family by her side, she was given a tour of the places around the College of Education that share parts of her life.
I'm so happy to have them share this moment with me.
Quotes posted on walls, pictures on digital billboards, and speeches she's given over the years are now in full view to inspire generations to come.
This naming, I think, for the entire campus and for our college, really speaks volumes about our commitment to not only diversifying our student, faculty, and staff population, but to making sure that everybody has opportunities to thrive.
After the morning tour, a ceremony was held celebrating the newly named Mary Frances Early College of Education.
Choices to make. My choice was not the easy road or the well-known road, the road less traveled by, because I saw a need to do something, as has been said.
And you can find the full ceremony on our website at 11alive.com.
Special honor for a special woman. For more stories like this and a chance to hear from other Atlanta pioneers, be sure to watch our Black History Month special. It's called Today's Pioneer, and it airs Saturday night at 7 on our sister station, 11Alive. His bravery touched the lives of so many, which is why one police department honored him in a very special way. Next, how this 8-year-old officer will continue to be honored.
There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hence. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun, and they're convenient, but they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting. We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late.
What's the best part about
Your voice, it is never too loud or too much. Your voice has the power to tell it like it is.
Bringing us together to act.
Together, our voices grow. Together, we come alive, amplifying voices and breaking down barriers to change the story and shape the future. Together, we are unstoppable. Together, we are where Atlanta speaks.
Remember the old days, the old cliffhangers when we used to watch shows?
Hey,
and they would,
cliffhangers.
you know, they would wait the next week. You were, oh, what's going to happen to the $6 million man? He was hanging with his one bionic arm.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
Tonight, we have a very sad update to share with you. The 8-year-old police officer who's battling brain cancer has died. The bravery shown by Juvel Harris touched the lives of so many people. And Caitlin Ross has more on his life.
Juvel was a warrior, and his big smile was a gentle reminder of just how precious life really is. Juvel became a Clayton County police officer back in November. He was appointed because of his proven track record of fighting a battle of his own, brain cancer. I met Juvel through Southern Grace Hospice. They worked with the Clayton County Police Department to make his dream of joining the police force a reality. He died on Saturday. Since then, thousands of you flooded our Facebook page with support. Most of you echo Mary, who says she applauds the Clayton County officers for adding Juvel to the family and says they should be proud of giving a dying child happiness in his darkest hours. Juvel died surrounded by his family and his team from Southern Grace Hospice. His funeral is this Saturday at Emmanuel Baptist Church. The Clayton County Police Department says they'll be there to honor their little warrior.
Still to come, people who swipe packages off your front porch could soon be facing time behind bars. We've got to look at the bill that could change the consequences.
And tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alert.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, homie, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I say I'm gonna do. No, movement ain't fading. You couldn't assume what the doing was beating the
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A Scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. It's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed Morning Rush, huh? Well, here's what you
Thieves stealing packages. It happens a lot, and as shopping habits change, it's likely to get even worse. According to the New York Times, 1.7 million packages are stolen or go missing every day. And despite new technology, thieves still don't seem to care. But new legislation might change that. Here in Georgia, most of these cases are considered misdemeanors, but House Bill 954 would make it a felony. Anyone caught stealing packages can face between 1 and 5 years in prison. Several other states are looking into or have already passed similar bills, which apply stiffer penalties. House Bill 954 is in committee right now. It would then go on to a full House vote, and if it passes there, on to the Senate. You can read more about the bill right now on our website. You can check out the article in the As Seen on TV section of the 11Alive News app as well. A man accused of raping a dozen women takes a stand to defend himself. That story tops our speed feed tonight. DeAndre Shabazz is on trial in Fulton County after prosecutors say rape kits linked him to sexual assaults between 2002 and 2005. Prosecutors say he would target women who were walking alone, then assault them in abandoned parks or homes. But Shabazz says he never raped anyone, and he took the stand to defend himself in court.
That's not me. That's a doctor picture that y'all gave to what's name. I never had a head swollen in the front like that, and I always had facial hair. So how is that me?
His case is now in the hands of the jury. Police hope this new surveillance video will help them track down the person responsible for a shooting at the Old Lady Gang restaurant on Valentine's Day. East Point police say this man walked into the restaurant and shot another man who was believed to be the target, as well as 2 bystanders. There is a $2,000 reward for anyone with information leading to an arrest. A baseball team in Savannah going all out for its fans. The Savannah Bananas are banning advertisements inside Grayson Stadium. Owner Jesse Cole tells our sister station the team is looking to provide a better experience for the fans. Instead, the stadium will be decorated with a fan wall where people can sign their names, and there will also be a historical timeline paying tribute to the team.
Well, we're looking at those showers off to our south right now, so we're getting a little break, which is nice because it is now the second wettest February on record in Atlanta. We will have more showers heading our way, but they won't be the kind of soaking rain that we've gotten used to lately. So they'll be a little lighter and more few and far between. And we'll have a couple of chances to see some of these showers and then some snow showers as a couple of systems move on in here. Quick moving systems, fast moving systems, so they won't have much time to deposit a whole lot of rain, nor will they have much time to deposit much in the way of snow up in the North Georgia mountains. But we will see the cold air. I think everyone's going to feel the chill on Thursday. Temperatures dropping down below freezing across most of North Georgia. We'll be dry and cold on Thursday after a few flakes fly overnight into early Thursday morning, and then we'll likely see cold air plunge in once again Friday night and into Saturday morning. So that sets the stage for yet another chance to see a cold rain here, a few showers, and some flakes fly across the North Georgia mountains. So as far as what we're thinking tonight, we're going to continue to see the clouds out there in some spots, and then tomorrow a dry morning commute with some showers moving in as we head in through the afternoon and evening hours, and then a few snow showers. You just saw them real quickly there. They'll be brief late in the evening on Wednesday and into early Thursday here across the North Georgia mountains, and then everyone feeling that chill. And then Friday, a cold rain here as well. Light rain for the most part late in the day on Friday, and a few snow showers possibly moving in. So the first batch, maybe an inch here across the highest elevations Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and then another push of cold air and a little bit of moisture could bring in maybe another inch or two in those same locations, we think, Friday night into Saturday morning. So coming up, just how cold we're going to get this time around and how things are looking for the weekend.
All right, Sam, thank you. 85% of America's African-American male students are not proficient in reading. That's according to the Department of Education. But a pastor in South Carolina wants to change that. Here's Billie Jean Shaw from our sister station in Charlotte.
In the Black community, the barbershop is much more than a place to get a fresh shape-up.
The barbershop is probably as important to the African-American community as the church, because you go in, you get the news, you get different perspectives.
Civil Rights Act, July 2, freedom, equality, justice.
Now it's also a place to grab a good book. Thanks to this teacher and preacher, C.T. Kirk, creator of Books and Barbershops. He sat down with me at King Cut's Barbershop in Rock Hill to explain why he started the program.
When I was doing student teaching, a teacher that was training me was telling me about the low literacy amongst African-American boys. From that, I was like, okay, where's some places that books need to be, that boys can have access to those books? And then that's when the idea of putting books in barbershops really came about.
To see a parent actually reading to their children, you know, it's like TV or movie.
Demonstrators walked in.
And to actually see it, it was amazing. So I was so happy that he chose me to be the first barbershop.
And then kept the black.
From the looks of it, the idea is working. Little Julian spends 2 hours once a week in the barbershop with his dad. Each visit, he grabs his favorite book.
Just sat there waiting.
He's only in the 3rd grade and is now reading at a higher level.
It makes me feel good.
And why is that?
Because I like reading. They offer plenty of support.
It's now been 3 years since Pastor Kirk started Books and Barbershops. Since then, he's expanded his libraries to 20 more shops, 3 hair salons, and even 4 laundromats, all located throughout York and Lancaster counties. This makes him the first person in the area to start this initiative.
He does this wholeheartedly, and he got a lot of people that believe in him. So,
Pastor C.T. Kirk, an unsung hero who is Black history in the making.
I was that little boy that didn't have a father figure. I was that little boy that grew up in poverty. I was that little boy, and so when I looked up, I didn't have those role models. And so that's my legacy, is wanting to be able to impact my community as much as I can.
They were tired of...
Great story there. We are just a few days away from the Olympic marathon trials happening right here in Atlanta. One local athlete ran at the University of Georgia, and after a break from the sport, she's back with Olympic dreams. Maria Martin has her story.
You can really accomplish whatever goal you set for yourself.
Atlanta native Morgan Van Gorder ready to run in an Olympic marathon trial for the very first time after qualifying at 2:41:15.
I knew if I just kept chipping away each race, I would drop a little bit of time to get closer, and then Yeah, the third one, I got it.
The former Georgia Bulldog never had Olympic dreams until she realized that dream might be more obtainable than she thought.
I didn't really realize it was an option really until I joined the Atlanta Track Club team and started running half marathons. And I got pretty close 4 years ago, and that was the first time I was like, okay, this is something that could actually happen.
She took 8 months off of running and only had 10 months of training before qualifying for these Olympic trials.
I was burned out a little bit. I've been training at such a high level, you know, in college. And then I saw some fast times at CIM in 2018. And that re-sparked the fire in me to be like, okay, I just saw all these women run these amazing times. I want to do that.
Being the daughter of a football coach and a sister to 4 brothers, sports has always been instilled in her since she was young.
And they all say they can beat me, which is not true. But yeah, they all believe they can beat me in like a mile.
About 700 runners and some of their families are coming to town for the Olympic trials this weekend. You can watch the race on our sister station, 11Alive, with coverage beginning at 11:30 a.m. It's been more than 2 years since a 10-year-old girl was killed as she tried to run across the street. Now her mother and that driver are coming together for change. We'll show you how next.
I'm Francesca Amaker with the A Scene. So how would you like to have some Wakanda-inspired pieces in your closet? The latest on the collaboration between H&M and award-winning stylist Ruth Carter. It's coming up in the A Scene. These are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. Ah, it's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed Morning Rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish last.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning. I'm learning the taste of water, because I'm sugary.
Yeah,
right.
About that.
Well, reward would be
Slimming down. Okay,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
a little water in my cup.
And beautiful skin. You know, even more beautiful skin, you know, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not going to be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Block, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Block on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing.
It's a tragedy that will unite a mother and a stranger forever. 3 years ago, a 10-year-old girl snuck out of her Douglas County home with her siblings. A driver didn't see them and hit and killed that little girl. It was deemed an accident, so he wasn't charged, but it's something that changed him and the girl's mother forever. And they formed a special friendship because of it. Caitlin Ross was there as they met for the first time face to face.
Compassion, love.
When Tiana Patterson looks at Ryan Nickerson, she doesn't see the man who hit her daughter. She sees a friend.
Oh, he did nothing wrong, but I thank God that you stopped. I mean, and to live with that. I mean, I can't even imagine his pain.
Tiana and Ryan have thought of each other a lot these past 3 years. They started talking online a year after Kennedy's death, but this was the first time they ever met face to face.
To be able to just hug her and talk and actually just see her.
Ryan was driving to work early in the morning when he came over the hill on Maxim Road and hit Kennedy. He called 911 and stayed on the scene. And while he was not charged and police say he did nothing wrong, the accident is never far from his mind.
When I see my kids, I still see her. And that's hard to explain, but I still think about her.
Tiana and Ryan are teaming up now to try and make changes on the road where Kennedy was killed.
If we can save one life in the midst of having lost another, I mean, what a great gift.
Tiana says she's tried to contact the Department of Transportation since 2018 about making a change.
And if you miss one beat, you know, an accident can happen.
The intersection straddles Cobb and Douglas County. Both counties just told 11Alive they have construction projects in the works to add sidewalks and a crosswalk. Ryan says making that change will honor Kennedy's life.
And I told him, I said, I know you never had the opportunity to meet Kennedy here on earth, but my prayer is that you'll meet her in heaven.
Well, Tiana asked Ryan to join her family at Kennedy's celebration of life this year on what would have been her birthday. The Douglas County Department of Transportation is working with Cobb County to make those changes at the intersection. They tell 11Alive they'll likely finish work by late fall.
Well, we are looking at things a little drier today than it has been as of late, and temperatures definitely were milder than they were, making it all the way up to 68 degrees today, so just a couple of degrees shy of 70 degrees. And you notice all the rain has pushed off here to the south, and we're looking at our next system on approach. And when that system moves in, it'll bring in a couple of chances for some light showers and possibly some snow showers in the high country. I think what everyone will notice, though, is the incredible drop in temperatures, because here we were close to 70 today, and we're going to be in the 40s all day on our Thursday as we see a couple of shots of cold air move on in. So looking out right now at Noonan, things are calm. It was a beautiful evening here. We have clear skies at the moment, and look at some of the sunsets that our storm trackers were posting on our 11Alive Storm Tracker Facebook page. Sarah Bentley and Dalton posting this beautiful kind of pastel sunset reflecting on her backyard swimming pool. Also here in Midtown and Ansley, Michelle Schweber posting this beautiful sunset picture. It looks like it's just a glow there on the horizon. And then Storm Tracker Nicolette in Bowden posting this vibrant picture as the clouds roll in ahead of our next system, and that system will be bringing in a few showers as we head in through our Wednesday. So we'll be watching for that possibility Wednesday afternoon and evening. Temperatures today all the way up to 68 degrees. It was a mild start to the day and a nice warm finish, and it sure made for a beautiful afternoon. Rainfall, we did pick up 3/100ths today, but it was right after midnight last night. So that puts us at over 10.5 inches so far this month alone, and we're in second place for the wettest February. So I don't think we're going to pick up over 2 inches between now and Saturday, but we do have two systems moving in that'll probably bring us in about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, possibly as we head into Wednesday, and then also Friday afternoon and evening. So our next 12 hours, we're going to see cloudy skies out there, mild temperatures once again overnight. So for your morning commute, temperatures won't be quite as chilly, upper 40s, low 50s, and then the clouds rolling in for a chance for some showers during the afternoon and evening tomorrow. So we get a short break in the rain. Have a few showers on Wednesday and into the overnight, and possibly a wind stream mix in that same time period across parts of North Georgia. So this is the timing of it. Those clouds around for our morning commute for many, especially northwest Georgia. Ahead of that next system, the clouds roll in throughout the day. Just some very light scattered showers. Just grab your umbrella to be on the safe side, because we'll have some of those scattered showers around during Wednesday afternoon and evening. And then notice these little dots of white and lavender. That is snow and sleet possibly moving in as we head into the late evening. Now I switched to a different model. This is a more long-range model. It is the GFS, the American model we call it, and it shows that snow dipping all the way down to Cherokee County, not lasting long though, so we're not expecting any accumulations, probably just some flurries there in Cherokee County. But up in Fannin County over into Union and Towns, maybe we'll see a little accumulation. And then it looks like another shot Friday night. This is 7:30. We'll get a cold rain here, a few showers and snow showers once again, with cold air moving in for our weekend. So we'll be watching for that chance for some snow showers in North Georgia. 2 chances Wednesday night and Friday night. So maybe we'll have some storm tracker pictures to post of a little bit of a dusting of snow by Saturday morning when I'm here bright and early. Hope you'll join me on Saturday morning on 11 Alive. So we're looking at 30% chance for afternoon and evening showers on our Wednesday. Thursday we dry it out. Friday, that second chance for a few snow showers in the high country and some showers around here. And then Saturday and Sunday, I think we're going to dry it out early on Saturday. So a mostly dry weekend, cold on Saturday, but warming up pretty nicely on Sunday.
All right, folks, you know what time it is. You see your screen. It is time for Tuesday's edition of the A Scene, and we are kicking off with a double, or really a triple celebrity spotting. It went down at a local H&M pop-up shop. So 2 big names spotted at an H&M, maybe more. Academy Award-winning costume designer Ruth Carter hosted the opening of her latest collaboration with H&M and the designer, whose credits include Black Panther, Do the Right Thing, and recently Dolomite Is My Name, starring Eddie Murphy. She showcased several looks inspired by her work.
I think that this opportunity is like turning it around and saying this is the voice that we want to project. We're letting you know this is the voice that, we want to project. And, everybody makes mistakes, so there is a time for redemption, and there's a time for equity, and there's a time for diversity. And this is the time right now. As a costume designer, get to also do a collaboration with a big, global brand like H&M. And, I think that we have, really shown them and shown the world that this is a time to care.
Iconic. And guess what? Our producer, Ryan Dennis, also caught a flick with actress Elizabeth Olsen, who has appeared in 5 previous Marvel movies as Scarlet Witch. She told him she's in town filming an upcoming television series coming to Disney Plus later this year called WandaVision. And guess what? Supermodel Chanel Iman, right there on the left side of your screen, was also in the building looking beautiful. And a new production making its way to Georgia, according to Deadline. This one is called Heels, and it's a series about wrestling. So hear me out. This Starz drama series is starring Kelly Berglund, Stephen Amell, Alexander Ludwig, and Allison Luff. The series, which takes place in a small town in Georgia, is about 2 brothers, 1 villain and 1 hero, who fight over their late father's wrestling promotion, vying for national attention. It's going to be good. The Lionsgate-produced TV series is now accepting resumes from crew members if you want to get in on the action. They're also looking for background actors and stunt performers for this TV series. Don't worry, I put all the details on our members-only A Scene Facebook group, and make sure you cut me my 10%.
Did a famous author predict the coronavirus in a book that was written back in 1981? We're fact-checking this viral claim.
By John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots, and of course I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11 Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibes. When you vibe with it, it's a good time. We don't worry about the hate, we just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hence. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
They're
And
a
they're
lot of fun.
convenient. But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting.
Yeah.
We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late.
What's the best part about
Your voice, it is never too loud or too much.
A post being shared online claims a well-known author predicted the current strain of coronavirus in one of his books that was written in 1981. Our verified team has been checking the facts and the timeline to see if it's true. Here's Jason Puckett.
Okay, things may seem a bit strange for the next minute, but bear with me till the end. Claims like these are pulling excerpts from the novel The Eyes of Darkness by Dean Koontz. Quote, China's most important and dangerous new biological weapon. They call the stuff Wuhan 400 because it was developed at their rDNA labs outside the city of Wuhan. So the book names Wuhan, the Chinese city where the current strain of coronavirus originated. What's weirder, though, is that this book was written in 1981. Did Dean Koontz predict this would happen nearly 40 years ago? Well, no. Look further, and there's evidence to prove this is just a strange coincidence. First off, this is a real excerpt. The Eyes of Darkness does say this about Wuhan, but the similarities end there. In the book, Wuhan 400 is man-made, 100% fatal, and has an incubation period of about 4 hours. By comparison, COVID-19, the current strain of coronavirus and the sickness it causes, isn't believed to be man-made. It has about a 2% fatality rate and takes between 2 to 14 days to incubate. And while the name Wuhan is the same as the city where this current virus started spreading, it wasn't always written that way. If you go back to the first version of the book from 1981, you'll find that it actually says Gorky 400 instead of Wuhan 400. Turns out the book originally said the deadly biological weapon came from Russia and was only changed to China after the fall of the Soviet Union when they were no longer communist. So, strange coincidence with the name? Yeah, but that's it. Koontz didn't predict this current virus that's spreading, and the book definitely doesn't reflect our current situation.
Sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt? Where's my pen?
You see that? Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alerts.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, homie, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I say I'm gonna do. No, my movement ain't faded. You could assume it.
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A Scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right.
You hear about police chases where someone who's at the wrong place at the wrong time is caught in the middle. And over the weekend, that someone was a teacher of 23 years in Bartow County. Angela Walker Townsend's students say she was like a second mom. Her principal says she brought love and faith and humor to the classroom every day. Georgia State Patrol says a trooper tried to pull a man over for speeding. The driver wouldn't stop, so the chase started. Ms. Townsend was leaving the library when the driver raced through a red light. She died in the crash. Her classroom at White Elementary School is now full of cards and letters about how much the kids love her and miss her. Bartow County Schools plans to dedicate a butterfly garden to Ms. Townsend in the coming days.
Certainly a tough situation for the family and for these students having lost one of their
I was just telling
educators.
Ron, watching Cheryl's story, how fragile life is,
Certainly
and to
is.
think she had absolutely nothing to do with that. So we are thinking of that family and that community tonight. Well, it is almost 9 o'clock. We have a lot coming up for you next on 11Alive News Primetime.
Well, tonight, a possible solution for people struggling to make it to the polls on Election Day. We're going to be breaking down the proposal that would essentially let you permanently mail in a ballot.
Plus, new weapons in the fight against human trafficking here in Georgia. Why activists say these measures are crucial to protect vulnerable children.
11Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
All right, developing right now, folks, East Point police have just been involved in a situation where they were trying to figure out what happened that led to a deadly triple shooting. This all happened near the footbridge by Main Street.
And it all happened late this afternoon. Chanu Hur talked to police and joins us live with the latest in this investigation. Chanu.
Yeah, guys, we did learn that a second teenager has died in this shooting after he was taken to the hospital. Now, police tell me that both of the victims who died, they believe are 17 years old, and they do think that the victims and the shooter in this case all know each other. Now, this is chopper video from earlier of the scene, which is just blocks away from right here at the East Point Police Station. Just before 4:30 this afternoon, police say a large fight broke out moments before the shooting near the footbridge on Main Street, right by the MARTA station. After the gunfire, police say everyone scattered.
We are in contact with MARTA, and they have advised that they do have some surveillance that we're going to be taking a look at. There are also surveillance in the area that we're going to be taking a look at as well.
Now, police say they are interviewing several witnesses who were around during the shooting. Now, one other male victim did check himself into Grady Hospital, and police believe that victim is also a teenager. Guys.
Another big story we are following for you tonight, the spread of the coronavirus in the United States. It is not a matter of when, but we are talking about a matter of how much this is going to intensify here in the U.S. A different tone in today's message from the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It says its focus now is containing cases, but it's time to prepare in the event there is a worst case scenario. And that goes for the White House as well. Today, the Secretary of Health and Human Services asked a Senate subcommittee for $2.5 billion to help fight coronavirus.
So we do have in the strategic national stockpile ventilators, we have masks, we have
enough.
Well, of course not, or we wouldn't be asking for a supplemental to seek more money to procure more of that for this circumstance.
All right, so there are a lot of scary headlines and a lot of misinformation circulating about the coronavirus. So we're going to continue bringing you context and facts, not fear, on this topic. Jennifer Bellamy has information on where the U.S. stands right now and what could be on the way.
The coronavirus continues to spread, and the way it's moving is changing as well. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says community spread of COVID-19 is happening in many countries outside of China, the country of origin. That means these nations are seeing cases of the new coronavirus without a known source of exposure. They don't know how some of these people are getting sick. That has not happened here in the United States, but the CDC expects that it will. It's just impossible to know when, where, or how severe the illness will be. According to the CDC, right now, the U.S. only has 14 confirmed cases of COVID-19, 12 from people who traveled to areas with the virus, and 2 transmissions from people in close contact with someone with the virus. You can compare that to more than 77,600 cases confirmed in China. There are no cases of the virus here in Georgia, and no one is being treated for it here either. Still, with the continued spread of the new coronavirus, the CDC says now is the time for businesses, schools, hospitals, communities, and families to think about how they might respond, including plans to triage patients differently or offer teleoptions for work and school, and postponing major events if conditions get worse. And while we're not at that point right now, the CDC says the government is also working to update travel advisories for impacted countries and restrict travel into the United States from those areas to slow the introduction of the virus here and allow more time to prepare.
The CDC says it knows people are rightfully concerned. So here are the symptoms to look out for: fever, cough, shortness of breath, with conditions appearing 2 to 14 days after exposure. Right now, the CDC says the U.S. is still in the containment phase, but they're preparing in case they need to escalate in order to reduce the severity of the virus.
Well, the International Olympic Committee is also watching the coronavirus very closely as well. It's going to have to make some really tough decisions within the next 3 months about the fate of the 2020 Games. That's the take on the longest-serving member of the IOC. The Olympic Committee will consult with the World Health Organization before they make any moves to postpone or cancel the Games. But the global health issues are a consideration. 11,000 athletes and tens of thousands of fans will travel to Tokyo from more than 200 countries in July. Since 1896, war has been the only reason the Olympics have been canceled. Fears about the coronavirus are impacting Wall Street as we speak. For a second day in a row, U.S. stocks dropped as traders worry about the outbreak hurting the global economy. Monday, we saw the markets make its biggest plunge in 2 years, more than 1,000 points, erasing all of the gains for 2020 so far. Among the hardest hit, companies that depend on Chinese supplies or international travel, like Nike, Apple, Marriott, and United Airlines. And we have a lot more facts about the spread of the COVID-19 coronavirus posted on our website at 11alive.com. You can also text us right there, the number on your screen, 404-873-9114, to receive a link directly for the latest updates, plus our previous stories on the outbreak. Save that number to your phone right now, 404-873-9114, and text us anytime.
I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11Alive Storm Trackers with you live here on the ATL as well as live on Facebook. We've got right around 300 people on Facebook Live right now. So if you have interest in the weather or what we're seeing in the models for the snow chances and you want to talk a little bit more about that, go to my Facebook page right now. While you're watching the newscast, you can also go to Chris Holcomb 11Alive to join these other 300 people talking about the weather. Now, we're dry right now, thank goodness. We had an opportunity to dry out a little bit today. Moisture down to the south. Now, we did have 3/100ths of an inch of rain today, a little bit earlier during the overnight hours, and some of that mist and drizzle early this morning and some of the fog. But now a lot of that moisture has moved out. We are drying out now. The next system that we're watching that is going to give us a chance of rain is still well out to the west. And I know you're looking at that thinking, okay, not too impressive, and it's still a long way away. This is going to be moving through pretty quickly, and by late tomorrow afternoon and into the evening hours tomorrow, that's when we're going to see our next chance for rain, and maybe spots in far north Georgia might actually see a few snow flurries tomorrow night out of this system as well. Meanwhile, did you enjoy the warm air that we had today? It is still kind of mild. Take a look at the pictures or the temperatures that we have around North Georgia right now, and we can see those temperatures still holding right there in the upper 50s. Now, our average high for this time of year is 59. Here we are at 58 at 9 o'clock at night, so that's not bad out there right now. We got up to 69, almost 70 for a high temperature today. We're 57 in Athens, still some 60s here on the south side in Eatonton, 63 degrees. Here's what we're watching while you're sleeping tonight. Temperatures will be falling a little bit through those lower 50s, eventually into the 40s by tomorrow morning. We will wake up to some sunshine tomorrow, mixing in with the clouds. And then those clouds build in, and we'll see that next system from the west moving in that will give us that rain chance, as well as parts of North Georgia potentially seeing a little bit of snow. There's yet another system coming in late week into the early part of the weekend that will also give some spots in North Georgia other shot for some snow. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
A DJ accused of molesting a teenager will not get out on bond. It tops our speed feed tonight. Malcolm Rhodes is facing 8 charges, including sexual battery against a teenage boy. Rhodes is well known in Coweta and Henry counties, DJing on field trips, pool parties, and even hosting a nighttime glow party for kids under 16. A judge denied his bond today. He'll be back in court in March. A Fulton County man is convicted of rape after investigators say he convinced his victim he was gay in order to gain her trust before assaulting her. The DA says in 2015, this man, Torrance Callaghan, offered to give the victim a ride home after befriending her on a MARTA train and pretending to be gay, so she thinks the relationship was platonic. He then ended up raping her. Callaghan is still waiting to be sentenced. Georgia Power is warning customers be on the lookout for this new scam. Someone is calling people claiming their power is going to be shut off if they don't pay their bills with gift cards. If you check caller ID, it looks like the call is coming from Georgia Power's customer service line, but don't be fooled. Dunwoody police say it is a scam.
They're representing themselves as a power company, the gas company, sometimes the police department. Again, but anytime anybody asks you to send them a gift card number, whether it be an iTunes gift card, Visa gift card, Green Dot, big red flag, something's probably not right.
And police say this can happen with different utility companies too, not just Georgia Power. So be sure to call your provider if something seems a little off with that.
All right, Georgia's primary is not until the end of the month, next month, but as we prepare to turn, we get ready for the polls, a brand new bipartisan bill at the state capitol caught our attention. If it becomes law, many Georgia voters could vote by mail in every single election. The bill would create a permanent list of absentee voters who vote by dropping their ballots into a mailbox. 11Alive's Doug Richards has more on how it's going to work.
Of the nearly 4 million people who voted in Georgia in 2018, less than 6 out of 100 voted absentee. To vote absentee, a voter has to apply for an absentee ballot for each election. That means fill out the application, mail, fax, or email it to the county election office. The absentee ballot is mailed back to the voter, and the voter mails in the completed ballot.
I think it makes it easier for people who prefer to vote by absentee ballot.
Senator Elena Parent thinks it ought to be easier.
They have to continually request the absentee ballots right now, and this would allow them to sign up once and get on the list.
She's behind a bill that would let voters get on a permanent absentee ballot list and allowing them to essentially vote by mail. 4 states, Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, and Washington, conduct all of their elections by mail. 4 more allow some or all counties to have mail-in elections. Another 8 have provisions for mail-in elections under some circumstances. 5 more allow vote by mail in some of their smallest communities. Georgia has no vote by mail option unless the voter requests an absentee ballot. We asked Parent if this would nudge Georgia among the states voting by mail.
I guess it would be a small step in that direction. I mean, certainly not the statewide vote by mail programs that they have in place. It would allow more Georgians to test out permanently voting that way, and so it could be a part of a conversation.
The push to fight human trafficking in Georgia is growing with 2 proposed pieces of legislation. This has been an issue of emphasis for Georgia's First Lady. Most of the victims are children. Advocacy groups say the average age for a human trafficking victim in Georgia is 14 years old. Elwin Lopez walks us through what these newly proposed measures would do.
If somebody is a trafficker, if somebody wants to exploit the vulnerable, one of the places they could go would be a truck stop to see those who are being trafficked, to try to lure and pick up other girls and to take them to another place where they aren't as familiar, where they're even more vulnerable.
In Georgia, 7,200 men purchase sex from a minor every single month. Atlanta has been identified as one of the cities with the highest rate of child sex trafficking. House Bill 823 would ban anyone convicted of human trafficking from getting a commercial driver's license in Georgia.
This bill would protect the vulnerable from being trafficked by these exploiters in the future.
Human trafficking is an issue Governor Brian Kemp and the First Lady have pushed to combat. Just last month, the Kemps and the president's daughter Ivanka Trump met with trafficking survivors.
Very often when people are trafficked, they come out of that trafficking situation with criminal arrests and convictions. Everything from prostitution to drugs to shoplifting. And those types of crimes can keep a survivor from getting a job. They can keep a survivor from getting housing assistance, from getting an education.
Senate Bill 435 would essentially nullify trafficking survivors' criminal convictions, something Kamala Solfagari says would move Georgia in the right direction by preventing trafficking victims from further exploitation.
As discussion continues about the issues that matter most to you, 11Alive's Decision 2020 political team is working for you throughout this election year. Still ahead, the University of Georgia honors one of its change makers years after this graduate opened the doors to higher education for others.
And also, Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb is live on Facebook right now, taking all of your weather questions. You can join the conversation right now on his Facebook page. We are going to catch up with him right after the break.
Also, don't forget, we are streaming on our 11Alive YouTube channel, so if streaming is your thing from your phone, we got you covered there. Subscribe and join the conversation in the community section. More 11Alive news in prime time coming up after the break.
Full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on The Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
As we continue to celebrate Black History Month, we bring you the story of a woman who made history becoming the first African American to graduate from UGA. Mary Frances Early paved the way for countless students here in Georgia, and today the university is honoring her in a big way by naming the College of Education after her. 11Alive's Latasha Gibbons was in Athens for the ceremony.
Well, today was a wonderful ceremony that drew hundreds from around the state, including Governor Kemp and Georgia's First Lady. The Board of Regents approved the name change back in October, but today Mary Frances Early got to see her legacy sealed in Georgia history. Mary Frances Early is seeing for the first time a college that now bears her name.
It's mind-boggling. Nothing that I could ever have imagined.
Early was the first African American to graduate from the University of Georgia back in 1962, earning a master's degree in music education. She then received a specialist in education degree in 1967. Not only was she a trailblazer at UGA, but she went on to have a major impact on Georgia schools. She was the first African American president of the Georgia Music Educators Association in 1981 and served as music director for the entire Atlanta public school system. She also taught at Morehouse College and Spelman College and served as the chair of the music department at Clark Atlanta University.
When I walked in down here, it just, I couldn't help but shed tears. Oh, wow, that was, yeah.
With her family by her side, she was given a tour of the places around the College of Education that share parts of her life.
I'm so happy to have them share this moment with me.
Quotes posted on walls, pictures on digital billboards, and speeches she's given over the years are now in full view to inspire generations to come.
This naming, I think, for the entire campus and for our college, really speaks volumes about our commitment to not only diversifying our student, faculty, and staff population, but to making sure that everybody has opportunities to thrive.
After the morning tour, a ceremony was held celebrating the newly named Mary Frances Early College of Education.
Choices to make. My choice was not the easy road or the well-known road, the road less traveled by, because I saw a need to do something, as has been said.
And you can find the full ceremony on our website at 11alive.com.
For more stories like this and a chance to hear from other Atlanta pioneers, be sure to watch our Black History Month special. It's called Today's Pioneers. It airs Saturday night at 7 on our sister station, 11Alive.
Well, here we go. We finally had some dry hours in our area today after waking up this morning to some mist and drizzle. We just had a few people comment on that here on Facebook Live, where Terrence in the city of South Fulton said that, it started off misty and kind of dreary this morning, but then it warmed up nicely. We got up to 69 degrees for a high temperature. We have a lot of people on here tonight, between 200 and 300 people. Stacy McKinney says, we enjoy seeing you. I enjoy seeing all these people here as well. So let's break down what's happening with the weather, because we've got a lot to talk about here. Dry weather conditions right now, but we're watching this system that is up to the north and west of us. It's still kind of far away, but that's the next system that's going to move through quickly. It'll be here tomorrow, later in the afternoon and into the evening. And it's not that impressive. It's just about a 30% chance for some scattered showers that'll be with us tomorrow, and maybe even some snow flurries up in parts of North Georgia. I'm going to break down those chances for tomorrow night and then also again for Friday in North Georgia in just a second. So let me show you what we're watching out there right now. We have temperatures that are feeling pretty good. We're in the upper 50s right now. And as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, these temperatures in the upper 50s, this is where we should be in the middle of the afternoon here at the end of February. So we're actually feeling pretty nice out there right now. And what we're going to see for the next couple of days will be temperatures cooling down again. We're 57 in Athens, 63 over in Eatonton, but 46 in Blairsville. So today was the warm day. We'll watch these temperatures tonight. That'll be in the 50s, mainly during the overnight hours. And then we'll dip down into the 30s early in the, actually the 40s early in the morning. And we're going to see some of those rain chances that'll be coming back here during the afternoon. Again, this is for 9 in the morning. And then we're going to be up in the 50s, so not as warm as we were today. And then that rain comes in late in the day tomorrow and into the nighttime hours with those showers that are going to be scattered around. So on the wasometer here for your Wednesday, still going with a 7. First part of the day dry, showers coming in late, high temperatures about 10 degrees cooler than they were today. All right, so here's the timeline where you can see tomorrow morning a little bit of sun and clouds mixing together. By lunchtime, the clouds start building in a little bit more, but I don't see any rain here around metro Atlanta. It's going to be in the afternoon when that next system comes in. But look at this, it's not that impressive, folks. It's not going to be like a torrential rainfall. It's going to be just a few scattered showers that we have around. In North Georgia, where we have that cooler air in place with some of that moisture lingering back behind, we'll see just a few flurries there. As you can see, not that impressive late Friday night and into early on Thursday. And nothing here. We don't expect any type of snow here. In the morning on Thursday, maybe just a few flurries kind of shaking out of those clouds. And then things dry up. Thursday's going to be a nice day here, although it'll be chilly. High temperatures, that'll be in the 40s with mostly sunny skies. Now, let me take you into the end of the week and the weekend. The next system that's moving our way, Friday in the afternoon. A little bit of light rain here in Atlanta, nothing frozen here, but in North Georgia, the potential for some snow around during the late afternoon into the early evening hours on Friday, and then that moves out, and that doesn't extend down into the metro Atlanta area, so I'm not really concerned about any snow here Friday night into Saturday. Again, maybe just some of those lighter accumulations up in far North Georgia. So here's what we're watching. You can see that 7-day outlook where we have a 30% chance for showers late Wednesday, a few flurries north. Thursday, we're dry, decreasing clouds, highs near 47. Friday, late, another in the afternoon and evening, another round of light rain here, a few flurries far north. Then Saturday, we're improving. Clouds clear out, highs near 51. Sunday is the best day of the 7-day, a 10 on the wasometer, a high of 61. Upper 60s and mid 60s Monday and Tuesday with rain chances coming back, but only at about 30%.
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. You know, it's said the spirit of the Olympics never stops burning, but the Olympic cauldron in Atlanta has not been lit for an Olympic event since the Games ended back in 1996. But all of that is about to change here, folks. Georgia State just announcing that it is going to light the cauldron for the Olympic marathon trials on Saturday. The cauldron sits on GSU's campus near the former Olympic Stadium, now Georgia State Stadium, and you can see it from the highway. It's a landmark and a piece of history. Athletics Director Charlie Cobb says the decision was a no-brainer.
The marathon trials is a cool event, and obviously to incorporate part of the old Olympic Village that now is controlled by Georgia State and the part that we can play. And some guys on campus had the idea to light the torch, and what a great way to honor the Olympics.
All right, get this, about 700 runners and some of their families are coming to the Olympic trials this weekend. An exciting and important event for Atlanta to host, and you can watch the race right here on 11Alive with coverage beginning at 11:30 a.m.
His bravery touched the lives of so many, which is why one police department honored him in a special way. Next, how this 8-year-old officer will continue to be honored.
Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on The Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Mom, where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie!
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm gonna be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. Only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyperlocal.
Tonight, we have a very sad update to share. The 8-year-old police officer who was battling brain cancer has died.
That's right. So the bravery shown by JaVale Harris touched the lives of so many people in this area. Caitlin Ross has his story.
JaVale was a warrior, and his big smile was a gentle reminder of just how precious life really is. JaVale became a Clayton County police officer back in November. He was appointed because of his proven track record of fighting a battle of his own, brain cancer. I met JaVale through Southern Grace Hospice. They worked with the Clayton County Police Department to make his dream of joining the police force a reality. He died on Saturday. Since then, thousands of you flooded our Facebook page with support. Most of you echo Mary, who says she applauds the Clayton County officers for adding JaVale to the family and says they should be proud of giving a dying child happiness in his darkest hours. JaVale died surrounded by his family and his team from Southern Grace Hospice. His funeral is this Saturday at Emmanuel Baptist Church. The Clayton County Police Department says they'll be there to honor their little warrior.
All right, straight ahead. She was eaten alive by mites. Years later, another death calls the safety of a nursing home into question. The exclusive Reveal investigation is next.
Good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Jess.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish last.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. Only on 11Alive.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning. I'm learning the taste of water because I'm sugary. Yeah, right.
About that.
One reward would be
Slimming down. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, a little water in my cup.
And beautiful skin. You know, even more beautiful skin, you know, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not gonna be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. Only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Block, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Block on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe with it. It's a good time. We don't worry about the hate. We just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hints. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular.
Welcome to The Reveal on Primetime. I'm investigative reporter Andy Perotti. Tonight, a Reveal investigation uncovers multiple allegations of neglect at a Georgia nursing home. It's a facility we've investigated before after a resident died from an infestation of parasitic mites, which essentially ate her alive. In the years that followed, state inspectors continue to find violations, while its owner receives millions from taxpayers.
Every day was great with her. I couldn't complain about anything. She wouldn't give me no reason to.
Jim Palmer's fondest memory of his wife, Frances, is the day they got engaged.
And my second fondest was the day we did get married.
While their wedding day is one of his most cherished, what happened to his wife just days before her death is something he wishes he could forget.
I looked in the room and she's already on the gurney. Ambulance is already there. Her face was swelled up, black eyes. She was cut across her nose. She was just black and blue.
It happened last year when the 75-year-old lived here at Shepherd Hills, a nursing home in Lafayette, Georgia. According to Palmer, Frances suffered 3 falls in 6 weeks he believes could have been prevented. After the second fall this past September, he filed this police report alleging staff neglected her. Palmer says he then requested padding around her bed.
And I asked them to put one on the floor. And they said, no, she might trip over it. I said, well, if she trips on it, at least she's gonna land on something soft.
11 days later, Frances fell again. This time, the fall so hard, hospital records show she suffered fractured bones in her face and bleeding in her brain. Doctors told Palmer the damage was irreversible.
I told him, let God take care of it. 2 days later, she died.
While state inspectors have not determined if Shepherd Hills is responsible for Frances' death, the facility has a long history of alleged neglect. In 2015, 93-year-old Rebecca Zini died from a scabies infestation while living there.
This is one of the most horrendous things that I've ever seen in my career as a forensic pathologist.
After reviewing her autopsy, forensic pathologist Dr. Chris Berry estimates millions of mites were living inside Zini at the time of her death.
So it's not an exaggeration to say, to some extent, she was eaten alive.
Having seen what I've seen with Ms. Zini, I think, frankly, that is a good characterization.
Since Zini's death, inspectors with the Department of Community Health have cited the nursing home each year for multiple violations, including medication errors, inaccurate patient records, holes discovered in the ceiling. And the reveals confirm the state is currently investigating neglect claims related to this man who lives at Shepherd Hills. His name, Andy Coleman. The person who filed the complaint, his sister, who also happens to be the facility's former nursing director. Pictures provided to the Reveal show injuries to his forehead, black eyes, and shoulder, allegedly caused by staff not following fall prevention protocols.
That's a rotten, stinking, no good, sorry-ass place is what it is.
While state investigators were citing the facility year after year, state records show its owner, Pruitt Health, received taxpayer money. $8.1 million in Medicaid reimbursements just from Shepherd Hills alone since 2018. The person billing the state for that money is this man, Neil Pruitt, Pruitt Health's chairman and CEO, and the owner of Shepherd Hills Nursing Home.
Great customer service here, right?
We requested an interview with him, giving him a month to respond. When he didn't, we caught up with him at a recent public board meeting.
Your company has been cited multiple times for violations involving this facility. You have any comment?
We have no comment. We don't respond to this type of journalism.
You have received millions in taxpayer dollars, and this facility continues to see violations. Why do you deserve taxpayer money?
No comment. I don't know how else to explain that to you.
So loving.
Palmer has never met Mr. Pruitt, but has a message for him if he gets the chance.
Y'all have the wrong name for this nursing home. You got Shepherd Hills Nursing Home? What about Shepherd Kills Nursing Home?
In addition to the state's findings, the Lafayette Police Department has also responded to the nursing home 57 times since 2015. Incident records show the allegations range from theft involving staff, simple battery between residents, and unaccounted for patients. Representative Tarvin says he sent our findings to the Georgia Department of Community Health to investigate. The state agency says it cannot discuss pending cases. You can see more of our in-depth investigations like this one by going to our website, 11alive.com. And don't forget to watch The Reveal, the only local investigative show in the country, Sundays at 6 on our sister station, 11Alive.
Wasn't it nice to have some dry hours out there today, even though we started off this morning with some of those areas of fog, mist, and drizzle, picked up about 0.03 of an inch of rain today officially in Atlanta. But then we had a lot of dry hours through the day, and we warmed up. We got up to 69 degrees for a high temperature today. The next system coming our way is still well out to the west. We have this moisture to the south that's going to stay there. And then this activity to the west is going to start building and move toward us. It's a really fast mover. It's going to swing through quickly late tomorrow afternoon and into the evening hours. For us here in Atlanta, mainly with some light rain, but in North Georgia, maybe a few snow flurries there. Did you check out the sunset tonight? That cloud cover that we had in our area kind of broke up a little bit on the horizon, and that allowed the sun, as it was going below the horizon, to shine back up and illuminate those clouds. It was really beautiful. This is from 11Alive Community Storm Tracker Nicolette Agan in Bowden over in West Georgia with this beautiful sight. And then this is another view from Carolyn Hill and Calhoun. We had great views here in Atlanta for a while today as well, so things looking really nice. We still have some clouds around, and the temperatures tomorrow are not going to be as warm as we were today. We got up into those upper 60s, actually getting up to 69 between these two hourlies here between 2 and 3 o'clock. And now we're back to the 50s. Tomorrow afternoon, we're only going to be in the 50s with that next chance for rain moving our way. Stay with us. We're going to break down which areas in North Georgia could actually see some snow, not only Wednesday, but again, late Friday into early on Saturday. More on that in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. A man accused of raping a dozen women takes a stand to defend himself. That's going to top our speed feed tonight. DeAndre Shabazz is on trial in Fulton County after prosecutors say that rape kits linked him to sexual assaults between 2002 and 2005. Prosecutors say that he would target women who were walking alone, then assault them in an abandoned park or home. But Shabazz says he never raped anyone. This is what he said in court today.
That's not me. That's a doctor picture that y'all gave to, what's name? I never had a head swollen in the front like that, and I always had facial hair, so how is that me?
Well, this case is now in the hands of the jury. Well, police hope this surveillance video can help track down the person responsible for a shooting at the Old Lady Gang restaurant on Valentine's Day. East Point police say this man walked into the restaurant, shot another man who they believe he was targeting this guy, as well as 2 other bystanders. There is a $2,000 reward for anyone with information leading to an arrest. A baseball team in Savannah is going all out for the fans. The Savannah Bananas are banning advertisements inside Grayson Stadium. The owner, Jesse Cole, tells our sister station the team is looking to provide better experience for the fans. Instead, the stadium will be decorated with a fan wall where people can sign their name, and there will be a historical timeline paying tribute to the team.
Well, it is a tragedy that will unite a mother and a stranger forever. 3 years ago, a 10-year-old girl sneaked out of her Douglas County home with her siblings. A driver didn't see them and hit and killed the little girl. It was deemed an accident, so he wasn't charged, but it's something that changed him and the girl's mother forever, and they formed a special friendship because of it. Caitlin Ross was there as they met for the first time face to face.
Compassion, love.
When Tiana Patterson looks at Ryan Nickerson, she doesn't see the man who hit her daughter. She sees a friend.
Oh, he did nothing wrong, but I thank God that you stopped. I mean, and to live with that. I mean, I can't even imagine his pain.
Tiana and Ryan have thought of each other a lot these past 3 years. They started talking online a year after Kennedy's death, but this was the first time they ever met face to face.
To be able to just hug her and talk and actually just see her.
Ryan was driving to work early in the morning when he came over the hill on Maxim Road and hit Kennedy. He called 911 and stayed on the scene. And while he was not charged and police say he did nothing wrong, the accident is never far from his mind.
When I see my kids, I still see her. And that's hard to explain, but I still think about her.
Tiana and Ryan are teaming up now to try and make changes on the road where Kennedy was killed.
If we can save one life in the midst of having lost another, I mean, what a great gift.
Tiana says she's tried to contact the Department of Transportation since 2018 about making a change.
And if you miss one beat, you know, an accident can happen.
The intersection straddles Cobb and Douglas County. Both counties just told 11Alive they have construction projects in the works to add sidewalks and a crosswalk. Ryan says making that change will honor Kennedy's life.
And I told him, I said, I know you never had the opportunity to meet Kennedy here on earth, but my prayer is that you'll meet her in heaven.
Tiana asked Ryan to join her family at Kennedy's celebration of life this year on what would have been her birthday. The Douglas County Department of Transportation is working with Cobb County to make the changes at the intersection. They tell 11Alive they'll likely finish work by late fall.
All right, still to come. They're easy for kids to download, but apps can also open the door for predators to contact your kids. A warning for every single parent.
Together, we are unstoppable. Together, we are where Atlanta speaks.
Remember the old days, the old cliffhangers when we used to watch shows?
Hey,
and they
cliffhangers.
would, you know, they would wait the next week. You were, oh, what's going to happen to the $6 Million Man? He was hanging with his one bionic arm.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
Atlanta. Almost 6 million people call the Metro home. But what makes this place so great? I'm 11Alive's Chesley McNeil. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Atlanta is the best city in America. Come on, man. It's the heart of the South. And it's one of the most diverse cities around. People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions. And who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks' Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie!
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
Well, there's a new security system online at all Douglas County schools with the goal of keeping unwanted visitors from entering the school.
The system checks each visitor's background in a matter of seconds. Joe Henke had the chance to check it out in person today.
This allows me to have the assurance that the people traveling in my building belong here to support children. And so when I see the badge with their display, it means they've already been cleared to travel.
Factory Shoals Elementary Principal Kenya Parks says office staff already needed to buzz in each visitor. Now they also have each person scan their ID at a computer in the office, check the reason for and destination of their visit, have their picture taken, and if approved, a visitor badge is printed. If not, they are held in the office.
There will be a notification on the screen that says, please see an office attendant. And so the office attendant will come over, and then an administrator will be summoned, and then there will be a private conversation.
The system notifies both school officials and, if selected, local law enforcement if someone is an unapproved guest or sex offender. It gives school staff more information right away and allows them to efficiently clear long lines of visitors.
This is a quicker way. Once they get the badge, we know that we're good to go.
The Douglas County School District used a federal grant to purchase the technology from a company called Raptor for all 35 schools at a cost of more than $150,000. It is the latest security change in Douglas County. In 2019, about a year after the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, Governor Kemp signed legislation giving each Georgia school district $30,000 per school to spend on safety. In addition to the new check-in system, Douglas County spent its state funding to upgrade lighting, cameras, and bought a system called Centegix Crisis. With Centegix, each employee wears a badge, and a certain number of taps on the badge's button signals various emergency situations, from a child needing medical help to a violent situation.
This is a really comforting level of security for our teachers and staff, so that if there's ever a crisis, they have the ability to be able to alert us right away.
School leaders in the sheriff's office are then notified, and an app they have access to shows a map of the school and exact location of the incident.
By the way, Douglas County Schools joins a growing list of area school districts using the Raptor system to run quick background checks on all visitors. Forsyth schools began using the system last fall, and Fulton and Gwinnett County school districts are using some of the money purchased for that same system.
A little more than half of children in the U.S. own a smartphone by the age of 11. That's according to a study by Common Sense Media. Those phones and the apps downloaded on them can allow predators easy access to your children. Police across the metro urge parents to check what apps their children are on. Not only that, though, but make sure the apps are not giving away your child's location. Also, police say, be wary of dating apps. Yes, even for teens and children. A lot of dating apps don't have age verification or anything to prove a user is who they say they are. And on that note, a Marietta police cyber analyst tells us parents should also monitor apps with video and direct messaging services for strangers or predators looking to interact with your child.
Because it's hard to imagine that your 7-year-old or your 8-year-old might have someone telling them that they're attractive or asking them to lift up their shirt. But it happens, and it happens in places where parents think their children are completely safe.
Tonight on Up Late, we show you an in-depth look at several apps, how they're being used and misused, and tips on how to keep your child safe on social media. That's coming up at 11 on our sister station, 11Alive. We'll see you then.
We have some comfortable temperatures out there tonight after getting up to near 70 today with our high of 69. This evening has been pretty comfortable. It's not, chilly, not frigid, just kind of cool out there tonight and comfortable. 58 degrees is our temperature right now, 57 in Athens. We still are holding on to 63 in Eatonton. And then as you go into the North Metro counties, a little bit lower in the lower 50s in Canton, Rome, Dalton, even 40s right now up in Blairsville. Now, these temperatures are a little warmer than what we had today. In fact, than what we had yesterday. In fact, our high today of 69 is about 20 degrees warmer than the high that we had yesterday. And right now, we are 10 degrees warmer than we were at this time last night, 11 degrees warmer in Gainesville, and about 14 degrees warmer now in the Eatonton area. We will be cooling down, though, as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. Temperatures are going to be trending back down into the upper 50s, right around 59 degrees for a high. And we're tracking these fast-moving systems that have moisture in association with them that swing through, giving us quick shots of rain. We're going to have one of those late on Wednesday, maybe even a few flurries up in the far North Georgia mountains. No flurries here in Atlanta, just some lighter rain. And then yet another system coming in later on Friday. That'll bring some light rain here to metro Atlanta. And again, some of those snow chances that will be on the low end, but up in parts of North Georgia where they could have some accumulations there. So on your Wednesday, on the Wizometer, you know, we rate your weather on a scale from 1 to 11, where an 11 is a perfect day. Going with a 7 tomorrow. First part of the day is going to be dry. We'll have some sunshine mixing in with the clouds. And then later in the day, we're going to see some showers move through, not looking that impressive, just scattered showers with high temperatures cooler than what we had today at about 59. All right, let's break down those rain chances in the morning with our forecast track. You can see dry weather here, some sunshine around. Clouds start building to the north. Once we get to the lunchtime hour, we'll see a few more clouds that are building in with a few showers possible mainly in northwest Georgia. And then going through the afternoon hours, you see this? This isn't that impressive. This system that's moving in is kind of moisture starved. There will be just a few scattered showers with this, and then we'll be watching any moisture up in North Georgia that mixes in with that colder air later on Wednesday night, might shake out a few flurries, but it's not looking that impressive at all for Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Maybe some light accumulations there. No snow here at all. And then for Thursday, we're looking good. It's going to be a dry day with partly cloudy skies, but it's going to be cooler with highs only in the 40s on Thursday. So a lot of ups and downs with these temperatures, where today we were 69, tomorrow is 59, Thursday is 47. And then Friday, that next round of light rain coming in. I do think it will be light rain here in metro Atlanta. A little better chance for some flurries up in the mountains on Friday night. But all that moisture's out of here on Saturday with 51 degrees for a high. 61 Sunday, looking good. And then the rain chances back Monday and Tuesday with highs in the 60s. Stay with us. We have more to come on Primetime.
When we used to watch shows and they
cliffhangers.
would, you know, they would wait the next week. You were, oh, what's going to happen to the $6 million man? He was hanging with his one bionic arm.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
Atlanta. Almost 6 million people call the Metro home. But what makes this place so great? I'm 11Alive's Chesley McNeil. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Atlanta is the best city in America. Come on, man. It's the heart of the South. And it's one of the most diverse cities around. People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions. And who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks' Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
All right, criminals stealing packages, it happens a lot, and it's likely to get worse, folks. According to the New York Times, 1.7 million packages are stolen or go missing every single day, and despite new technology out there, thieves still don't care. But new legislation could change all of that. Here in Georgia, most of these cases are considered misdemeanors. House Bill 954 would make it a felony. Anyone caught stealing packages can face between 1 to 5 years in prison. Several other states are looking into it as well, or already have similar bills passed, which would apply stiffer penalties. House Bill 954 is in committee right now. It would then go into full effect to the full House vote, and if it passes there, the Senate as well. So, you know, it seems like I do a story on this like every month.
Yeah, you really do.
Right.
Because it keeps on happening. Yeah. All right, well, Ron's going to check out. Me and Chris are tapping in for prime time at 10 o'clock. Hey, Ron, see you at 11.
All right, later.
On Up Late.
Would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. It's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed Morning Rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish last.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning. I'm learning the taste of water, because I'm sugary.
Yeah,
right.
About that.
Well, reward would be
Slimming down. Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
okay.
a little water in my cup.
And beautiful skin. You know, even more beautiful skin, you know, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not going to be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Blog, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Blog on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe with it. It's a good time. We don't worry about the hate. We just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements.
11Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
Well, developing right now, 2 teens dead and another injured in a shooting in broad daylight. Chanu Hurd talked to investigators out there on the scene. He joins us live outside the East Point Police Department with the very latest. Chanu.
Yeah, Aisha, one died at the scene and another teenager at the hospital. Police did tell me they believe both of these victims are 17 years old, and they do think that these victims and the shooter all knew each other. Now, let's go to some chopper video here of the scene earlier today. It was just blocks away from the East Point Police Department right here just before 4:30 this afternoon. Police say a large fight broke out moments before the shooting near the footbridge on Main Street, right by the MARTA station. After the gunfire, police say everyone scattered.
We are in contact with MARTA, and they have advised that they do have some surveillance that we're going to be taking a look at. There are also surveillance in the area that we're going to be taking a look at as well.
Yeah, as you heard police say, they're looking at several pieces of surveillance, and right now they're also interviewing several witnesses. Aisha?
All right, Chanu, thank you. Another big story you are all talking about today. Call it the coronavirus quote of the day. It's from the CDC here in Atlanta. The CDC telling us it is no longer a matter of if the new coronavirus will spread through our communities in the U.S., but when. John Sherrick has some life and death questions you're asking and the answers as we know them right now.
The coronavirus is spreading fast, and we're hearing a lot of questions and comments from you about it. So what do we know? New information just published Monday in JAMA, the Journal of the American Medical Association. Information about nearly 45,000 people infected with this new coronavirus in China, where it spread from one city to an entire nation in 30 days.
The degree to which it's contagious is very concerning. And I haven't heard a clear answer in the mortality rate, but that would be concerning too, of course.
Well, here it is. According to the Chinese government information published in JAMA here in the U.S., 2.3% of the people infected died. That compares with the flu in the U.S., where maybe 0.5% to 1% of flu patients die. And 81% of the coronavirus cases were mild. Who is most vulnerable?
We have pretty good health infrastructure relative to other places. I also, in general, don't worry with my own demographic about being someone who could potentially experience this disease fatally. So I guess I'm more worried for other people than I would be for myself.
As it is according to China's CDC, 87% of the patients in China were between 30 and 79 years old.
Knowledge is obviously power, and the more that we know about it, the better that we could perhaps protect ourselves with it and against it.
According to the CDC here in Atlanta, how long someone is actively sick can vary. The CDC is saying all of us, including the healthcare communities, should prepare now to respond the way we all did during the U.S. flu pandemic in 2017. And always observe good hand hygiene and good respiratory hygiene to protect yourself and others.
The coronavirus could affect the production of some of your favorite drinks. Coca-Cola says the virus has interrupted its supply chain. That's according to a new annual report the Atlanta-based company released today. Artificial sweeteners from China used in Coca-Cola drinks could be in short supply if the coronavirus continues to spread. China is Coca-Cola's third largest market. For the latest on the coronavirus, including symptoms and how long it takes for the virus to run its course, look for this story in the As Seen on TV section of the 11Alive app. A woman reported missing while under a wanted caregiver supervision in Gwinnett County is now safe and sound. 68-year-old Linda Williams was reported missing by her daughter, who said she had not spoken to her mom since December. Today, police told us they were able to track down Williams this afternoon at an adult protective services in Gwinnett County, thanks to tips that came in. She appears to be okay. Police say Keisha Mitchell was supposed to be taking care of Williams. Police say Mitchell is wanted in Gwinnett County and has ties to another missing woman, Linda Kimball, who was also supposed to be in her care. Call police if you've seen either of them. A Georgia police officer on trial charged with killing his wife. Eatonton officer Michael Peralt is charged with shooting and killing his wife Amanda inside their home earlier this month. During the testimony today, Putnam County Sheriff Howard Sills said based on the crime scene, it was clear Peralt staged the whole thing.
It was absolutely obvious to me that Amanda Peralt could not have shot herself.
Sheriff Sills said he believed right away that someone had moved the pistol and moved her body. The push to fight human trafficking in Georgia is growing with 2 proposed pieces of legislation. This is a major area of focus for Georgia's First Lady. Most of the victims are children. Advocacy groups say that the average age for a human trafficking victim in Georgia is 14 years old. Elwin Lopez walks us through what these newly proposed measures would actually do.
If somebody is a trafficker, if somebody wants to exploit the vulnerable, one of the places they could go would be a truck stop to see those who are being trafficked, to try to lure and pick up other girls and to take them to another place where they aren't as familiar, where they're even more vulnerable.
In Georgia, 7,200 men purchase sex from a minor every single month. Atlanta has been identified as one of the cities with the highest rate of child sex trafficking. House Bill 823 would ban anyone convicted of human trafficking from getting a commercial driver's license in Georgia.
This bill would protect the vulnerable from being trafficked by these exploiters in the future.
Human trafficking is an issue Governor Brian Kemp and the First Lady have pushed to combat. Just last month, the Kemps and the president's daughter Ivanka Trump met with trafficking survivors.
Very often when people are trafficked, they come out of that trafficking situation with criminal arrests and convictions. Everything from prostitution to drugs to shoplifting. And those types of crimes can keep a survivor from getting a job. They can keep a survivor from getting housing assistance, from getting an education.
Senate Bill 435 would essentially nullify trafficking survivors' criminal convictions, something Kamala Solfagari says would move Georgia in the right direction by preventing trafficking victims from further exploitation.
A man accused of raping a dozen women takes the stand to defend himself. DeAndre Shabazz is on trial in Fulton County after prosecutors say rape kits linked him to sexual assaults between 2002 and 2005. Prosecutors say he targeted women who were walking alone, then assaulted them in an abandoned park or home. But Shabazz said he never raped anyone.
That's not me. That's a doctor picture that y'all gave to what's name. I never had a head swollen in the front like that, and I always had facial hair. So how is that me?
His case is now in the hands of the jury. Police hope this new surveillance video can help them track down the shooter at the Old Lady Gang restaurant. This all went down on Valentine's Day. East Point police say this man walked into the restaurant and shot another man who was believed to be the target. 2 bystanders were also shot. There is a $2,000 reward for anyone with information leading to an arrest. A judge will hear a case tomorrow challenging the privacy of Georgia's new voting machines. 33,000 of them have been delivered ahead of early voting next week. That's for Georgia's presidential primary. 11Alive's Doug Richards explains what's at stake in this lawsuit.
I have nothing to hide.
Pat West was able to laugh at the visibility of the voting machine that he'd used in a special election last month in his rural South Georgia community of Pinehurst, as did his wife, Carol.
And, you know, somebody behind you could actually see how you were voting. Not that it really mattered to me, but, you know, the privacy was not quite as much as before to me.
Other voters navigating the state's new voting machines told us they could feel the eyes of poll workers or other voters behind them as they cast their ballots on the new bright, upright touchscreens. A lawsuit says the machines plainly violate Sumter County citizens' rights to absolute ballot secrecy and urges the county to use hand-marked paper ballots instead.
Georgia law says very clearly is that absolute secrecy has to be guaranteed, and they're not guaranteeing it. In fact, they're flaunting it with these gigantic screens.
The Georgia Secretary of State has told county election workers to configure the voting machines toward walls in the upcoming presidential primary, so the screens can't be seen from the interior of the room. A spokeswoman for Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger called the lawsuit a silly and desperate attempt to interfere with Georgia elections. Yet the concern about the new machines is real, says State Senator Elena Parent.
The screens are very large, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, except that you can apparently see how everyone's voting across the room. So absolutely, we've got to take action to ensure the privacy while individuals are voting.
The suit was filed in Sumter County because people there are voting right now in a special runoff election, but the rest of the state gets its first crack at the state's new voting system Monday when early voting starts in Georgia's presidential primary.
Well, we had warm temperatures out there today. We got up to near 70 degrees, but look at the cold air up to the north. That is going to dive our way. Stay with us. We're timing out some areas of precip that may mix in with that cold air. I'll let you know what that means for parts of North Georgia.
She was the first African-American graduate from UGA, paving the way for countless students. Tonight, we're hearing from the trailblazer as the university honors her in a big way. Footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
They're
And
a
they're
lot of fun.
convenient. But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting. We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late.
What's the best part about
your voice? It is never too loud or too much. Your voice has the power to tell it like it is.
Bringing us together to act.
Together our voices grow. Together we come alive, amplifying voices and breaking down barriers to change the story and shape the future. Together we are unstoppable. Together we are where Atlanta speaks.
Remember the old days, the old cliffhangers when we used to watch shows? And
cliffhangers.
They would wait the next week. You're, what's going to happen to the $6 million man? He was hanging with his one bionic arm.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. Only on 11Alive.
Atlanta. Almost 6 million people call the Metro home. But what makes this place so great? I'm 11Alive's Chesley McNeil.
Breaking right now, the U.S. military says a soldier based in South Korea has tested positive for the coronavirus. He is the first U.S. service member infected. He is a 23-year-old based at Camp Carroll. The military says he is quarantined at his residence. Download the 11Alive app for the very latest developments on this story. As we continue to celebrate Black History Month, we bring you the story of a woman who made history, becoming the first African-American to graduate from UGA. Mary Frances Early paved the way for countless students here in Georgia. And today, the university is honoring her in a big way by naming the College of Education after her. 11Alive's Latasha Givens was in Athens for the ceremony.
Well, today was a wonderful ceremony that drew hundreds from around the state, including Governor Kemp and Georgia's First Lady. The Board of Regents approved the name change back in October, but today, Mary Frances Early got to see her legacy sealed in Georgia history. Mary Frances Early is seeing for the first time a college that now bears her name.
It's mind-boggling. Nothing that I could ever have imagined.
Early was the first African-American to graduate from the University of Georgia back in 1962, earning a master's degree in music education. She then received a specialist in education degree in 1967. Not only was she a trailblazer at UGA, but she went on to have a major impact on Georgia schools. She was the first African-American president of the Georgia Music Educators Association in 1981 and served as music director for the entire Atlanta public school system. She also taught at Morehouse College and Spelman College and served as the chair of the music department at Clark Atlanta University.
When I walked in down here, it just, I couldn't help but shed tears. Oh, wow, that was,
With her family by her side, she was given a tour of the places around the College of Education that share parts of her life.
I'm so happy to have them share this moment with me.
Quotes posted on walls, pictures on digital billboards, and speeches she's given over the years are now in full view to inspire generations to come.
This naming, I think, for the entire campus and for our college
really speaks volumes about our commitment to not only diversifying our student, faculty, and staff population, but to making sure that everybody has opportunities to thrive.
After the morning tour, a ceremony was held celebrating the newly named Mary Frances Early College of Education.
Choices to make. My choice was not the easy road or the well-known road, the road less traveled by, because I saw a need to do something, as has been said.
And you can find the full ceremony on our website at 11alive.com.
For more stories like this and a chance to hear from other Atlanta pioneers, be sure to catch our Black History Month special. It is called Today's Pioneers and airs Saturday night at 7 on 11 Alive. All right, today was a much needed break from the rain, but we could see some showers again tomorrow. Chris, we are taking these breaks in stride. I was grateful for it.
Yeah, you know, and you have to enjoy it while you can, because we've been getting these successions of fast moving systems that come through here and bring us additional shots of rain. And that's what we're going to see later in the day tomorrow. It's not going to be one of those where we have a persistent all day rain. It's just going to be a few scattered showers later in the day. So tomorrow's not a washout, but yeah, you'll be dodging a few of those showers around. Here's a look at what we're watching on radar right now. Nothing over our area. We still have some clouds in the area, but they're not rain producers. The rain is down to the south in parts of southeast Georgia, along the coastal region into North Florida. This is the next system that we're watching that'll be moving our way. That'll give us that chance for a few showers later in the day tomorrow. Did you see that beautiful sunset out there tonight? Look at these pictures sent in by some of our 11 Alive community storm trackers. This is from Nicolette Agan in the Bowden, Georgia area over in West Georgia. As the sun was setting tonight, after it went below the horizon, there were breaks there along the horizon where it was able to shine up on the clouds. We saw some beautiful colors there after sunset. This is from Carolyn Hill in Calhoun. Another beautiful view of all the colors. We had a lot of folks sending us pictures of the beautiful sunset tonight. And tomorrow, we will actually have some sunshine, we think, early on, with those clouds that are going to be breaking up. In the first part of the day, looks like it'll be dry. Temperature still mild. We got up to almost 70 degrees today. 69 was our high temperature. Right now, we're 55. So feeling really comfortable out there. It's not really frigid, not too chilly, just kind of comfortable here for a late evening night here at the end of February. And we'll see these temperatures overnight that will begin to drop a little bit more. We'll move down into those 40s here by tomorrow morning, but we will start off with some sunshine, and then the clouds start building in again. And then later in the afternoon, that's when we're going to see some of the showers that'll move our way. So starting off at 47, we get up to 59 in the afternoon. That's going to be running about 10 degrees cooler than we were today, but still right where we should be for this time of year. So on our scale from 1 to 11, where an 11 is a perfect day, we're going to go with the 7. First part of the day is dry. Second part of the day is when we're going to have some of those scattered showers. But I want you to watch this system as it progresses toward us, all right? So in the morning, we start off with mostly sunny skies, partly cloudy skies here, some sunshine around. Those clouds start building in around lunchtime, a couple of showers even in northwest Georgia. Then in the afternoon, do you see that? Not that impressive. This moisture is going to be pretty limited with the system moving in, just giving us a few showers. We'll be watching up in North Georgia with some of that colder air that's going to squeeze out any moisture that is left in the atmosphere. And we may have just a few spotty snow flurries over North Georgia, but we don't expect any major issues up there. But something we'll watch very closely just in case there might be a couple of slick spots developing. And then Thursday is going to be a dry day. Once we go into Friday, that's the next system we're watching that will bring us another round of some light rain here in metro Atlanta during the day, and maybe some flurries up in North Georgia. Could see some light accumulations there late Friday, but then all this moisture's out of here by Saturday, so we'll start to dry out again. 59 for a high Wednesday, with the rain chances at 30% later in the day. Thursday, it's the dry day, but chilly, partly cloudy skies, a high of 47. A few light showers late Friday again, maybe some flurries up in North Georgia. We dry out Saturday with a high of 51, lower 60s here on Sunday, mid and upper 60s Monday and Tuesday, with the rain chance coming back for the first part of the next week. Let's check out what we're watching right now with our weather wow moment of the day. Michael Druckman from Gainesville. kind of took this eerie looking picture this morning up at Lake Lanier, on the north end of Lake Lanier, with all the fog that we had around. If you would like to be a part of our weather wow moment, the best way to get those pictures to us is to become a member of the 11Alive Storm Trackers group on Facebook. Just search 11Alive Storm Trackers. Ask to become a member of that closed group. We'll approve you, and then you can share pictures, videos, and we'll also share weather information with you there too.
I'm Francesca Amaker with the A Scene. So how would you like to have some Wakanda-inspired pieces in your closet? The latest on the collaboration between H&M and award-winning stylist Ruth Carter. It's coming up in the A Scene.
Even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
And they're
convenient. But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting. We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late.
What's the best part about
Your voice, it is never too loud or too much. Your voice has the power to tell it like it is.
Bringing us together to act.
Together our voices grow. Together we come alive, amplifying voices and breaking down barriers to change the story and shape the future. Together we are unstoppable. Together we are where Atlanta speaks.
Remember the old days, the old cliffhangers when we used to watch shows?
Hate
and they
cliffhangers.
would, you know, they would wait the next week. You're, oh, what's going to happen to the $6 million man? He was hanging with his one bionic arm.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
Atlanta. Almost 6 million people call the Metro home. But what makes this place so great? I'm 11Alive's Chesley McNeil. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Atlanta is the best city in America. Come on, man. It's the heart of the South. And it's one of the most diverse cities around. People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions. And who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all help shape the future of America. Once an Olympic.
All right, folks, you know what time it is. You see your screen. It is time for Tuesday's edition of the A Scene, and we are kicking off with a double, or really a triple celebrity spotting. It went down at a local H&M pop-up shop. So 2 big names spotted at an H&M, maybe more. Academy Award-winning costume designer Ruth Carter hosted the opening of her latest collaboration with H&M and the designer whose credits include Black Panther, Do the Right Thing, and recently Dolomite Is My Name, starring Eddie Murphy. She showcased several looks inspired by her work.
I think that this opportunity is like turning it around and saying this is the voice that we want to project. We're letting you know this is the voice that, we want to project. And, everybody makes mistakes, so there is a time for redemption, and there's a time for equity, and there's a time for diversity, and this is the time right now. As a costume designer, get to also do a collaboration with a big, global brand like H&M. And, I think that we have, really shown them and shown the world that this is a time to care.
Iconic. And guess what? Our producer Ryan Dennis also caught a flick with actress Elizabeth Olsen, who has appeared in 5 previous Marvel movies as Scarlet Witch. She told him she's in town filming an upcoming television series coming to Disney Plus later this year called WandaVision. And guess what? Supermodel Chanel Iman, right there on the left side of your screen, was also in the building looking beautiful. And a new production making its way to Georgia, according to Deadline. This one is called Heels, and it's a series about wrestling. So hear me out. This Starz drama series is starring Kelly Broughlin, Stephen Amell, Alexander Ludwig, and Allison Luff. The series, which takes place in a small town in Georgia, is about two brothers, one villain and one hero, who fight over their late father's wrestling promotion, vying for national attention. It's going to be good. The Lionsgate-produced TV series is now accepting resumes from crew members if you want to get in on the action. They're also looking for background actors and stunt performers for this TV series. Don't worry, I put all the details on our members-only A-Scene Facebook group, and make sure you cut me my 10%.
All right, so it said the spirit of the Olympics never stops burning, right? But the Olympic cauldron in Atlanta has been lit for an Olympic event since the Games ended in 1996, and that is about to change. Georgia State just announced it will light it up at noon during the Olympic marathon trials on Saturday. It sits on GSU's campus near the former Olympic Stadium, now Georgia State Stadium. You can see it from the highway, a landmark and piece of history there. Athletics Director Charlie Cobb said the decision was a no-brainer.
The marathon trials is a cool event, and obviously to incorporate part of the old Olympic Village that now is controlled by Georgia State, and the part that we can play. And some guys on campus had the idea to light the torch, and what a great way to honor the Olympics.
About 700 runners and some of their families are coming to town for the Olympic trials this weekend. An exciting and important event for Atlanta to host. You can watch the race right here on 11Alive with coverage beginning at 11:30 a.m. She was eaten alive by mites. Years later, another death calls the safety of a nursing home into question. The exclusive Reveal investigation is next.
Here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Jess.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning. I'm learning the taste of water, because I'm sugary.
Yeah.
Right.
About that.
Reward would be
Slimming down. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
a little water in my cup.
And beautiful skin. Even more beautiful skin, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not gonna be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Block, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Block on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots, and of course I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
All we feel is good vibes. Vibe with it, it's a good time. We don't worry about the hate, we just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hence. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Televised newscast.
Tonight, a Reveal investigation uncovers multiple accusations of neglect at a Georgia nursing home. It's a facility where we've investigated before after a resident died from an infestation of mites. Investigator Andy Parati did some digging, and he found out in the years that followed, state inspectors continue to find violations while its owner received millions from taxpayers.
Every day was great with her. I couldn't complain about anything.
Jim Palmer's fondest memory of his wife, Frances, is the day they got engaged.
And my second fondest was the day we did get married.
While their wedding day is one of his most cherished, what happened to his wife just days before her death is something he wishes he could forget.
Her face was swelled up. She was just black and blue.
It happened last year when the 75-year-old lived here at Shepherd Hills, a nursing home in Lafayette, Georgia. According to Palmer, Frances suffered 3 falls in 6 weeks he believes could have been prevented. After the second fall this past September, he filed this police report alleging staff neglected her. Palmer says he then requested padding around her bed.
And I asked them to put one on the floor. And they said, no, she might trip over it. I said, well, if she trips on it, at least she's going to land on something soft.
11 days later, Frances fell again. This time, the fall so hard, hospital records show she suffered fractured bones in her face and bleeding in her brain.
I told them, let God take her. 2 days later, she died.
Well, state inspectors have not determined if Shepherd Hills is responsible for Frances' death. The facility has a long history of alleged neglect. In 2015, 93-year-old Rebecca Zini died from a scabies infestation while living there.
This is one of the most horrendous things that I've ever seen in my career as a forensic pathologist.
Since Zini's death, inspectors with the Department of Community Health have cited the nursing home each year for multiple violations, including medication errors, inaccurate patient records, holes discovered in the ceiling. And the reveals confirm the state is currently investigating neglect claims related to this man who lives at Shepherd Hills. His name, Andy Coleman. The person who filed the complaint, his sister, who also happens to be the facility's former nursing director. Pictures provided to the reveal show injuries to his forehead, black eyes, and shoulder, allegedly caused by staff not following fall prevention protocols.
That's a rotten, stinking, no good, sorry place is what it is.
While state investigators were citing the facility year after year, state records show its owner, Pruitt Health, received taxpayer money. $8.1 million in Medicaid reimbursements just from Shepherd Hills alone since 2018. The person billing the state for that money is this man, Neil Pruitt, Pruitt Health's chairman and CEO, and the owner of Shepherd Hills Nursing Home.
Great customer service here, right?
We requested an interview with him, giving him a month to respond. When he didn't, we caught up with him at a recent public board meeting.
You have received millions in taxpayer dollars, and this facility continues to see violations. Why do you deserve taxpayer money?
No comment. I don't know how to explain that to you.
So loving.
Palmer has never met Mr. Pruitt, but has a message for him if he gets the chance.
Y'all have the wrong name for this nursing home. You got Shepherd Hills Nursing Home? What about Shepherd Kills Nursing Home?
State Representative Stephen Tarvin represents the district where this nursing home is located. He forwarded our findings to the state to investigate. In the meantime, some lawmakers say they want to do something. They are considering legislation that would let families install cameras inside their loved one's room. A new security system is online at all Douglas County schools with the goal of keeping unapproved visitors from entering the school. The system checks each visitor's background in a matter of seconds. Joe Henke had the chance to check it out in person today.
This allows me to have the assurance that the people traveling in my building belong here to support children. And so when I see the badge with their display, it means they've already been cleared to travel.
Factory Shoals Elementary Principal Kenya Parks says office staff already needed to buzz in each visitor. Now they also have each person scan their ID at a computer in the office, check the reason for and destination of their visit, have their picture taken, and if approved, a visitor badge is printed. If not, they're held in the office.
There will be a notification on the screen that says, please see an office attendant. And so the office attendant will come over, and then an administrator will be summoned, and then there will be a private conversation.
The system notifies both school officials and, if selected, local law enforcement if someone is an unapproved guest or sex offender. It gives school staff more information right away and allows them to efficiently clear long lines of visitors.
This is a quicker way. Once they get the badge, we know that we're good to go.
The Douglas County School District used a federal grant to purchase the technology from a company called Raptor for all 35 schools at a cost of more than $150,000. It is the latest security change in Douglas County. In 2019, about a year after the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, Governor Kemp signed legislation giving each Georgia school district $30,000 per school to spend on safety. In addition to the new check-in system, Douglas County spent its state funding to upgrade lighting, cameras, and bought a system called Centegix Crisis. With Centegix, each employee wears a badge, and a certain number of taps on the badge's button signals various emergency situations, from a child needing medical help to a violent situation.
This is a really comforting level of security for our teachers and staff, so that if there's ever a crisis, they have the ability to be able to alert us right away.
School leaders in the sheriff's office are then notified, and an app they have access to shows a map of the school and exact location of the incident.
Douglas County Schools joins a growing list of area school districts using the Raptor system to run those quick background checks on visitors. Forsyth schools started using the system last fall, and Fulton and Gwinnett County school districts each use portions of the $30,000 schools receive to purchase the same system. A DJ accused of molesting a teenager will not get out on bond. Malcolm Rhodes is facing 8 charges, including sexual battery against a teenage boy. Rhodes is a well-known person in Coweta and Henry counties, DJing on field trips, pool parties, and even hosting a nighttime glow party for kids under 16. A judge denied his bond today. He'll be back in court in March. There was a lot of tension on the coronavirus right now, but injuries related to vaping continue to impact lives. As of February 18th, the CDC says there have been more than 2,800 confirmed cases of lung injuries linked to vaping products. That is an increase of nearly 50 cases since the last update. The death toll also increased to 68. It is a tragedy that will unite a mother and a stranger forever. 3 years ago, a 10-year-old girl sneaked out of her Douglas County home with her siblings. A driver didn't see them and hit and killed the little girl. It was deemed an accident, so he wasn't charged, but it's something that changed him and the girl's mother forever, and they formed a special friendship because of it all. Caitlin Ross was there as they recently met for the first time face to face.
Compassion, love.
When Tiana Patterson looks at Ryan Nickerson, she doesn't see the man who hit her daughter. She sees a friend.
Oh, he did nothing wrong, but I thank God that you stopped. I mean, and to live with that. I mean, I can't even imagine his pain.
Tiana and Ryan have thought of each other a lot these past 3 years. They started talking online a year after Kennedy's death, but this was the first time they ever met face to face.
To be able to just hug her and talk and actually just see her.
Ryan was driving to work early in the morning when he came over the hill on Maxim Road and hit Kennedy. He called 911 and stayed on the scene. And while he was not charged and police say he did nothing wrong, the accident is never far from his mind.
When I see my kids, I still see her. And that's hard to explain, but I still think about her.
Tiana and Ryan are teaming up now to try and make changes on the road where Kennedy was killed.
If we can save one life in the midst of having lost another, I mean, what a great gift.
Tiana says she's tried to contact the Department of Transportation since 2018 about making a change.
And if you miss one beat, you know, an accident can happen.
The intersection straddles Cobb and Douglas County. Both counties just told 11Alive they have construction projects in the works to add sidewalks and a crosswalk. Ryan says making that change will honor Kennedy's life.
And I told him, I said, I know you never had the opportunity to meet Kennedy here on earth, but my prayer is that you'll meet her in heaven.
Tiana asked Ryan to join her family at Kennedy's celebration of life this year on what would have been her birthday. The Douglas County Department of Transportation is working with Cobb County to make the changes at the intersection. They told 11Alive they're likely to finish that work by late fall. Did a famous author predict the coronavirus in a book that was written in 1981? We're fact-checking the viral claim next.
And we're watching this moisture that's moving into our area after a period to dry out today. We'll talk about that rain mixing in with the colder air, and we'll break down which parts of North Georgia could actually see some snow flurries.
And coming up next in sports, Atlanta United is back in the States competing in the Champions League. Maria Martin has your round 2 highlights from the 5 stripes.
Too loud or too much. Your voice has the power to tell it like it is.
Bringing us together to act.
Together our voices grow. Together we come alive. Amplifying voices and breaking down barriers to change the story and shape the future. Together we are unstoppable. Together we are where Atlanta speaks.
Remember the old days, the old cliffhangers when we used to watch shows?
Hate
And they
cliffhangers.
would, you know, they would wait the next week. You're, oh, what's going to happen to the $6 million man? He was hanging with his one bionic arm.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
Atlanta. Almost 6 million people call the Metro home. But what makes this place so great? I'm 11Alive's Chesley McNeil. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Atlanta is the best city in America. Come on, man. It's the heart of the South. And it's one of the most diverse cities around. People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions. And who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Mom, where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm gonna be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news.
All right, so a post being shared online claims a well-known author predicted the current strain of coronavirus in one of his books that was written in 1981. Our verified team has been checking the facts in the timeline to see if it's true. Here's Jason Puckett.
Okay, things may seem a bit strange for the next minute, but bear with me till the end. Claims like these are pulling excerpts from the novel The Eyes of Darkness by Dean Koontz. Quote, China's most important and dangerous new biological weapon. They call the stuff Wuhan 400 because it was developed at their rDNA labs outside the city of Wuhan. So the book names Wuhan, the Chinese city where the current strain of coronavirus originated. What's weirder, though, is that this book was written in 1981. Did Dean Koontz predict this would happen nearly 40 years ago? Well, no. Look further, and there's evidence to prove this is just a strange coincidence. First off, this is a real excerpt. The Eyes of Darkness does say this about Wuhan, but the similarities end there. In the book, Wuhan 400 is man-made, 100% fatal, and has an incubation period of about 4 hours. By comparison, COVID-19, the current strain of coronavirus and the sickness it causes, isn't believed to be man-made. It has about a 2% fatality rate and takes between 2 to 14 days to incubate. And while the name Wuhan is the same as the city where this current virus started spreading, it wasn't always written that way. If you go back to the first version of the book from 1981, you'll find that it actually says Gorky 400 instead of Wuhan 400. Turns out the book originally said the deadly biological weapon came from Russia and was only changed to China after the fall of the Soviet Union when they were no longer communist. So, strange coincidence with the name? Yeah, but that's it. Koontz didn't predict this current virus that's spreading, and the book definitely doesn't reflect our current situation.
Just over half of children in the U.S. own a smartphone by the age of 11, according to a study by Common Sense Media. Those phones and the apps downloaded can allow predators easy access to your kids. Police across the metro urge parents to check what apps their children are on. Not only that, but make sure apps aren't giving away your child's location. Also, police say be wary of dating apps. Yes, even for teens and kids, because a lot of those apps, they don't have those age verifications or anything to prove a user is who they say they are. That's when it gets dangerous. And on that note, a Marietta police cyber analyst tells us parents should also monitor apps with video and direct messaging services for strangers or predators looking to interact with your child.
Because it's hard to imagine that your 7-year-old or your 8-year-old might have someone telling them that they're attractive or asking them to lift up their shirt. But it happens, and it happens in places where parents think their children are completely safe.
Tonight on Up Late, we show you an in-depth look at several apps, how they're being misused, and tips on how to keep your child safe on social media. That's coming up on 11Alive at 11.
We have definitely had some ups and downs with our temperatures. Remember yesterday we had temperatures in the afternoon that were only in the upper 40s. Today we were about 20 degrees warmer. We got up to 69 degrees this afternoon. That's just 1 degree away from 70, and that's 10 degrees above average, whereas yesterday we were 10 degrees below average. We should be at about 59 degrees for this time of year. So a very warm day out there today. And it was mild this morning too at 49. We should be around 40 at this time of year. We are going to be closer to these numbers tomorrow, a little bit closer to average, not as warm as we were today. Now, even though 69 was kind of warm for today, it still was nowhere near the record. The record for today's date, 78 degrees, set in 1996. We had about 3/100 of an inch of rain after midnight last night. Look at that surplus. We're running about 10 1/4 inches above where we should be in rainfall for the year. So that's a lot of rain that we have kind of stored up there for the year so far. We are going to have a chance to have a few more dry hours tonight and for the first part of the day tomorrow. This is at 9 o'clock in the morning, mostly sunny skies, but then we'll see a few more clouds building in mid-morning into the afternoon hours. And then during the afternoon, we'll see more clouds around and not a huge rain chance. We're talking about a 20 to 30% chance for showers for the afternoon hours and into the evening hours, where we start cooling back down into the 40s. And that's going to be really interesting to watch those temperatures up in North Georgia with a little bit of moisture, because some of those areas in the mountains will have a chance for some scattered snow flurries that'll be around. Wednesday is going to be cooler than it was today with those high temperatures around 59 degrees. We're tracking these fast moving systems that are moving through that have moisture with them. We're going to see that coming in later tomorrow, and then again Friday night. Both of those will have some low snow chances, and we really think that that chance will be higher up to the north. I'm not really expecting any snow here in the metro Atlanta area. We'll start off at 47 on Wednesday morning with a high of 59. We're going to give that a 7 on the wazometer. That's our scale from 1 to 11, where an 11 is a perfect day. Here's a look at the timeline and the forecast track. In the morning, Atlanta will see some sunshine with a few more clouds to the north and west and to the south and east. And then during the morning, those clouds will build in. We'll even have a couple of showers in northwest Georgia around lunchtime. And then here's the system for the afternoon. Not that impressive, just a couple of scattered light showers around. And then watching on the back side of this system here, a little bit of snow flurry activity over far north Georgia as that cold air sweeps in. We don't think it's going to cause much in accumulations there. Thursday is going to be dry, looking pretty nice with a high of 47. And then Friday, a high of 52 with the rain chances coming in late. A few flurries again possible in north Georgia late Friday night. Moisture moves out Saturday with more sunshine. Sunday looks great, a 10 on the wazometer, a high of 61. Even warmer Monday and Tuesday, but the rain chances coming back up.
All right, Atlanta United back in Georgia, not at the Benz. They were in Kennesaw tonight playing FC Motogua in the second round of the CONCACAF Champions League. Now, they need a win or a scoreless draw to advance to the next round. Let's see what they did tonight. Brad Guzan earlier this week calling Fifth Third Bank Stadium a home away from home, and certainly looked like that in the 39th minute. It was P.T. Martinez making no mistakes. The little nudge from Joseph, too. He jams one in the back of the net, 1-0 United. Then in the 60th, here comes Joseph, the breakaway around the goalkeeper, a laser to make it 2-0 for the Five Stripes. Then another goal from PT for good measure late in the match. The Five Stripes win it 3-0. This will be their second straight trip to the CONCACAF quarterfinals. Former Georgia quarterback Jake Fromm, he's ready to show out in front of some NFL scouts and coaches at the Combine in Indianapolis this week. Measurables, they're in the books for the athletes, and his hands are actually a little bit smaller than what the NFL desires for a quarterback.
It's an eighth of an inch away from being the desired 9 inches. No big deal. It's the same hands that went to 3 SEC championships, Rose Bowl, National Championship, and some Sugar Bowls. So I think it's played plenty of football and done well enough so far.
A little shade, I like it. All right, we're just a few days away from the Olympic marathon trials right here in Atlanta. One local athlete, she ran at the University of Georgia, and after a brief break from the sport, she's back with Olympic dreams.
You can really accomplish whatever goal you set for yourself.
Atlanta native Morgan Van Gorder ready to run in an Olympic marathon trial for the very first time after qualifying at 2:41:15.
I knew if I just kept chipping away each race, I would drop a little bit of time to get closer, and then, the third one, I got it.
The former Georgia Bulldog never had Olympic dreams until she realized that dream might be more obtainable than she thought.
I didn't really realize it was an option really until I joined the Atlanta Track Club team and started running half marathons. And I got pretty close 4 years ago, and that was the first time I was like, okay, this is something that could actually happen.
She took 8 months off of running and only had 10 months of training before qualifying for these Olympic trials.
I was burned out a little bit. I've been training at such a high level, in college, and then I saw some fast times at CIM in 2018, and that re-sparked the fire in me to be like, okay, I just saw all these women run these amazing times. I want to do that.
Being the daughter of a football coach and a sister to 4 brothers, sports has always been instilled in her since she was young.
And they all say they can beat me, which is not true. But yeah, they all believe they can beat me in like a mile.
Good luck to Morgan. We'll be right back.
that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers. I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alert.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, homie, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I say I'm gonna do. No movement ain't faded. You could assume what you're doing was great.
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A Scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. Ah, it's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed Morning Rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Chester.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish last.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning. I'm learning the taste of water, because I'm sugary. Yeah, right.
about that?
One reward would be
Slimming down. Okay.
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
a little water in my
yes.
cup.
And beautiful skin. You know, even more beautiful skin, you know, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not going to be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have to.
Dry for the first part of the day tomorrow, then some showers coming in late, maybe a couple of flurries in North Georgia. Dry again Thursday, then another system coming in Friday with light rain here and a few flurries up to the north.
It looks beautiful
That's right.
for the weekend.
We like this Sunday as well.
We
with the
do.
10 on the wazometer. Tune to 11Alive for more on Up Late.
Your Morning Rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little Five Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe with it, it's a good time. We don't worry about the hate, we just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hints. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. you can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
And they're convenient.
But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting. We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late.
What's the best part about your voice? It is never too loud or